Yeah, I'm gonna have to disagree.
Please don't be mean to me.
No, it's not like that. I can see where you're coming from. It just doesn't really work.
You
for
don't know
me.
what I can do. You know what I can do or what I'm going to do or what I'm going to be. I've got good takes inside of me that you don't know about. And I'm going to be a great podcaster. If you like and subscribe.
Yes, indeed. Please do like and subscribe to this Cinema Forecast. My name is Alfredo, and with me, as always, is...
Back at it again, it's Connor.
And you are listening to Cinema Forecast, the movie podcast, where every month we are randomly assigned a movie category by the legally distinct movie roulette. Attached to said category are 4 movies that we feel fit said category, and each week we take a deep dive into each one of those movies. And this week, we're doing our second Paul Thomas Anderson film.
That's right.
Tell them what it is.
We're doing Boogie Nights.
Indeed, we are doing Boogie Nights. And that being, of course, in the context of this month's theme.
People who are good at stuff.
People who are good at stuff. Last week, we didn't really go into our themes, so we'll remember to do that for sure at some point. You know what? Fuck it, I mentioned it, so let's do it here right now.
Yeah. And real quick, I just got to say, explicit content warning. While watching this movie, I thought of like, man, there's a lot of quotes I'm going to be very uncomfortable saying to the internet tomorrow when we record this.
Yeah, I mean, we've already cursed and stuff. Everybody has sex.
Oh, yeah, everyone.
I feel like we've definitely watched worse movies than this. We're talking about, like, violence and stuff, you know?
Yeah, isn't that interesting? I'm more uncomfortable talking about, cum than I am talking about cutting someone's head off.
Yeah, I was raised in a very sex-positive household. So, like, for me, talking about sex feels, like, very natural, and I don't feel super uncomfortable. So I will be here to hold your hand and hold, like, you know, an understanding, safe space for us to drop our fucking sick takes on Boogie Nights.
You're like, what's that line? Like a mother.
Yeah, I'm like Amber.
Who need love.
Yeah, I'm like Amber, and you're like Dirk. Come here, baby.
Can I be Roller Girl?
Come over here and come inside me.
Dude, I wish I could just roll around all day. Just rock those rollerblades.
Yeah. What a wild fucking movie. Speaking of what a wild movie, not speaking of. Let's go back to the themes.
Yeah, sorry.
No, that's okay.
Yeah, let's see here. So, themes. People who are good at stuff. We got down here ambition, pride, sacrifice, humanity's ingenuity, passion, obsession, talent versus experience, competitive? I can't read my own handwriting. Competition, isolation of genius, legacy.
Lovely. Sounds so good. Look at all those themes that we got.
Yeah.
Got them all lined up. And some of the things that we were talking about when we were talking about with people who are good at stuff. A lot of insert shots. You know, there's going to be a lot of dialogue scenes, a lot of the character reacting to different things, a lot of visual language to communicate how the person is good at something. Because, you know, it is, after all, a movie. So, like, visually show us, you know, and a lot of other people reacting to the character being good at stuff.
There's
or
a lot
being
of that
blessed
in this.
with something. Yeah, a lot of that in this.
It's very funny
sure.
every time.
It is. It's great. It is great because it's a whole thing until the end of the movie when you finally get to see the giant prosthetic dick he's wearing.
Hell yeah. Yeah, no, I just, the amount of times there's just like, I think I just wrote it down as the big reveal over and over in my notes because it just every time it felt like there was so much anticipation about him revealing his gift.
Yeah, absolutely. For sure. Speaking of revealing his gift, do you remember the first time Dirk Diggler revealed his gift to you?
No, that's funny you ask. I've actually only seen it once, and I was really excited to rewatch this because, especially after watching There Will Be Blood again, because I think I watched this like back in the male Netflix days maybe, or sometime around then, and I was really blown away by it, but I also feel like I was kind of before I was really like analytical about stories and movies, so I just kind of like experienced it without thinking about it too much. So I was really like, you know, before we went into this, thinking about what is that movie trying to say again? What is the like lessons? What are the character arcs and stuff? And so I was paying attention to a lot of that stuff this time through, and it was really fun. Great movie.
It's a great question to ask too because the movie does end kind of where it begins in a way.
Yeah.
So it's almost like the cycle continues. Is that good? Is that bad? Like, have the people learned? And ultimately, I feel like that's part of the journey that you go on, right, in this
Yeah.
film.
I do think there is catharsis for all the characters. That is very satisfying in its own cyclical nature, but I still feel like there's character growth.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. It feels like it. It definitely there are moments of it for sure where
Especially at the end, there's
yeah, for no,
back to back,
the
just
end
boom,
is
boom, boom, boom.
yeah, like a montage of like character growth, right?
Yeah.
I can't remember the first time I watched it. I think a long time ago. I don't know. I definitely remember like rewatches. When I was in film school, I started with Hard 8 and I kind of went through and started doing PTA's whole filmography in order. And I think I did watch it all. I think I was up to date until Mystic Pizza. Mystic Pizza and fuck. Yeah, I'm not super up on my PTA right now, but I think that's it. I think that's the only one I've missed. But yeah, always was like one of those. I love 70s movies. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I think it's because being a child of the 90s, I was like 7 years old around 1997, and I feel like there was that sort of 20-year cycle thing happening where like the 70s were really hot,
Yeah.
in the 90s, just like the 50s were really hot in the 70s,
Right.
like with Grease and shit.
I have heard there's like a 20-year cycle on these things of
Yeah.
culture and then counterculture
I mean,
backlash.
dude, a lot of the haircuts look like a haircut you would see at a fucking like indie or like punk show like these days.
Mm-hmm.
They're like hip artist haircuts. The fucking mullet,
Totally.
it's totally
That's a
come
great
back.
point.
And the mustaches, so many of those dudes look like they could be guitarists in like post-hardcore bands.
Totally. Yeah, and I know our friend Milena talks about sometimes just how much the fashion industry has to do with stuff like that, of just like kind of controlling and setting trends just through, all of their products and models and placements. Interesting stuff.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think there's always an aspect of it that is like I think like now a lot of that is like counterculture, And I mean, again, there is like this whole conversation about like, is there a real counterculture anymore? Like, especially with the internet and like all these sort of like subcultures. But we're speaking of subcultures, what we're here to talk about today is really the subculture of pornography.
Yeah, which is an interesting dive.
Yeah, as we were saying, with each of these Poagus movies, we're going to be taking a deep dive into a world. In our first film, the deep dive into the world of perfume, into the world of scent, what that means. So much fun. Last week, we dove into the world of chess. Again, more jargon, very fun. And today, we dive into the world of 1970s adult film.
Yeah.
Which what I love about it, too, is like it works for Paul Thomas Anderson because he's such a fan of cinema that he gets to like incorporate a lot of movie making aspects to the making of like in this movie, which is a lot of fun. But then it is in this like sort of different sort of realm. It is based on a 30-minute short he made when he was in high school.
Oh, I didn't know that. Interesting.
Yeah, in 1988, there's this. It's called the Dirk Diggler story, and that's based on a 1981 documentary about John C. Holmes, who is the character that Dirk Diggler is like vaguely based off of.
I love that. I was just about to say, like, I am interested to see what he has to say about why he chose this story. Like, what inspires you to just be like, I am going to write a dramatic epic based in the adult film industry?
Yeah, I imagine he probably watched the documentary and he was like, this is like such an interesting world to explore that a lot of people have not been subjected to. I feel like that kind of happens with him. He's like obsessive, where he like hears about some sort of like world and he like delves into it and tries
really
to learn
into the oil tycoon industry.
Yeah. Just kind of immerses himself in that sort of like lore.
Interesting. Yeah.
But yeah, fuck, man.
I mean, the movie starts with a bang.
It does.
Neon title drop.
But I think it's important to pay attention to the like
right before that,
the contemplative like melancholy horn music that's playing at the beginning, because it comes back at a very important point in the movie.
That's great. I didn't
And what I
notice when it
felt
came
like
back.
is like almost this framing of like, first and foremost, this is there is depth to this story,
Um,
but then immediately like almost
right.
subverting that, but like, oh, but we're gonna have fun. And there's a lot of that throughout this movie where you're like, I remember watching it and being like, this is the fun part of the movie, and this is insane. This is so fucked up.
Yes. Yeah.
Especially because I've seen it, a few times I think now. So I have a lot of the beats like in my mind.
Yeah, I was definitely looking for all the foreshadowing of here comes the bad times.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of it.
Yeah, no voiceover to start this movie. We do get a little title, as we saw as well in There Will Be Blood. We see a San Fernando Valley, 1977. I used to live in Reseda, which is in the San Fernando Valley. So I didn't know when I lived there that they made a lot of pornography there, but yeah, very interesting little factoid.
Yeah, it's interesting with this and There Will Be Blood. He likes to keep you on the year, on the day. Like time is important to him in both of these movies.
Yeah, for sure. And there's like there's different levels of specificity to it. I love how he kind of plays with it. Like I like that. Like it's something that he utilizes in different ways, and I wrote most of them down. So as I read them, we can react. This will be a react podcast.
Yeah, and maybe that just speaks to more how he's so interested in character study stuff that it takes years to kind of tell the stories he wants to tell.
Yeah, he's good for this category, man. I mean, like, There Will Be Blood would have been a good one as well here,
For sure.
We have Luis Guzman, Don Cheadle, John C. Reilly, Heather Graham,
Yeah, what
Burt
a cast.
Reynolds, fucking
Stacked.
yeah,
Absolutely stacked.
Julianne Moore, and we have Mark Wahlberg, we got William H. Macy. There's so many Ricky Jay is in this fucking
and
movie.
that's William H.
Philip
Macy.
Seymour Hoffman
Yes,
as well.
dude.
William H. Macy of Searching for Bobby Fischer, Tuna Fish father.
Yeah, it's fun to get that's happened twice now, I think, where we've had two actors back to back, and it's always like,
Yeah. No Defoe in this.
Yeah.
Although, can I give a Defoe update?
Oh, please.
A Defoe date?
Yeah.
An up Defoe? I saw oh man, what is it? It's a Michelob Ultra commercial, and it's him and Catherine O'Hara. Anyway, they are like, hey, play for those ultras. And these people are like, oh, we're pretty like high skilled. And then Willem Dafoe goes, fascinating, or something like that. And it cuts to them playing them in pickleball.
Oh, yeah.
And then they win. What an insane commercial.
Heck yeah, dude. More
Michelob
Willem
Ultra,
Dafoe.
we're here, if you want to talk.
Yeah, or Willem Dafoe, if you want to talk.
Oh, absolutely. Yes. Please come on the podcast. You can pick whatever movie you want as long as it's not Antichrist.
That movie is brutal. Anywho, love Don Cheadle in the cowboy outfit.
Yeah, that's
right
it.
at the beginning.
Yeah.
I remembered that bit, even though I probably saw this like 15 years ago or something. Just so funny. This whole movie, dude. Like him just trying his journey to find himself, and that's something we touched on a little bit already. But just one of my favorite things in this movie is just how many characters there are. Like it's such an ensemble cast, and they have so many different interweaving stories happening. But it never feels jumbled to me. Like,
yeah, this is definitely the closest to like a ensemble people who are good at stuff thing that we got this month. Because I said a couple episodes ago, we're not really doing any like groups of people who together are good at things.
Yeah.
But this is kind of a group of people
but,
who is good at something.
specifically about.
But because of I do feel like they all have their roles, and that is something that he learns eventually, right?
Well, he has the prodigy vibe though.
He does.
compared
No,
to the others.
he totally does. Yes. Yeah, for sure. But I mean, still, like,
Yeah.
you need people who have all these different skills. But yeah,
Totally.
it's because of him. Like, I mean, he wins best newcomer. He wins best actor. He's the fucking man.
I mean, you can just every time he's on screen, everyone in the room is almost forgetting that they're shooting a movie.
That's how quickly this film moves, because he immediately, we see him, Eddie Adams. He makes eye contact with friggin' Jack Horner.
And it really felt like a love at first sight kind of moment
Yes,
for me.
it was like a total like scout moment where it was like, yep, I'm gonna get you to play on our team.
Yeah, This movie made me laugh so often, and it's even things like that of just like the trope of like you see the woman across the room and you just know you have to start a conversation, you have to get to know her. In this case, it's like, oh yeah, this guy was born to be a porn star.
Yeah, so like initially they wanted Leonardo DiCaprio to play this role,
Oh, I could see
and
that.
he was offered it. I
see
think
it.
because PTA saw him, or somebody had seen him in Basketball Diaries. They asked him to be in this movie, but he was doing Titanic at the same time. He really liked the
Can
the
you
script though.
imagine
But
if he did
sa-
this instead.
he
What?
says he regrets
other
not doing them
timeline?
both at the same time.
Uh,
But yeah, he recommended Mark Wahlberg,
Who's great in
who was
this.
also
knocks it out
in
of the park, I think.
who was also in Basketball Diaries, I believe. But he was like reticent to do it because of he had been like a Calvin Klein like model, and I think he was a little bit worried about like
His
maybe
image.
yeah, in that way, or like
I
that
get it.
like he didn't want to like further go down into that sort of
Well-
like pigeonholed as just like some like hot piece of ass. And then they also considered Joaquin Phoenix for this role,
Oh,
but he turned it down
interesting.
due to fucking
Oh, I would love to see him in this. Actually, that'd be so wild.
yeah, he turned it down because of the concerns about like the porn. And then Samuel L. Jackson was in Heart 8. He was offered the Buck Swopes role before Don Cheadle, but he turned it down.
Man.
And Burt Reynolds did not like being in this movie. He did not promote it at all.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He felt like he had made a bad choice being in the movie.
That's interesting because it really is a cautionary tale. So I would be curious to hear his thoughts about it.
Yeah, William H. Macy also was told by his agent not to do this movie.
Well, he's a legend in this.
Isn't that
so-
wild, dude?
Yeah, no, I get it though because it is like when you're talking about DiCaprio, I can totally see that actually legitimately not making him as popular as he was through just the way he was romanced after the Titanic, right? Like he was this kind of like angelic actor, like up and coming beautiful man, right? And I feel like something like this could mess up his image at that exact moment in his career.
Yeah, potentially. Yeah. I mean, who knows? I think people probably just at that time were like, wow, Marky Mark is hunky and he continues to be hunky.
Right. Like it could be the exact opposite too, right? It just even made him explode harder and he's like
Explode harder, you say? Oh God. I think it's $20 to explode harder, right? It's $20 if you want to see him jack off. It's 10 if you just want to look at it.
Well,
no,
originally it was 5 and
it's
10.
5. It's 5 and
Yeah,
10. That's
yeah,
right. It's
yeah.
5 and 10. Yeah,
20
the economy
to explode harder, yeah.
20 to explode harder, of course. It's wild that he's 17 and he's asking him to see his dick.
Yes. Yeah, no, it's very creepy. He says, beneath those jeans, there's something wonderful just waiting to get out.
Yep.
And then he walks out of the room. I'm like, ugh.
Yeah, it's pretty gross.
Really
He also calls him a 17-year-old piece of gold. But this movie has a take on that as well. Like it comes up later on. Eddie's leaving. Eddie leaves the club. You hear like Maurice kind of like shouting out, saying bye to everyone.
Yeah, and we get a couple other character introductions here.
Yeah,
and
for
every
sure.
time Roller Girl is on the screen, I'm just happy. Like she's so silly to me, even though she's such a like traumatic, like intense character, but it's so bizarre and quirky to just
Yeah,
have to always
Her
wear
thing is great.
rollerblades.
Her thing is great. She's got a good bit. She's got a good name. Like she's got it figured out. Like I can see why she does well. Cause like I think that in the content creation space in general, like just knowing your gimmick is good, you know. And she really has that.
Yeah, and it looks fun, man. She makes it look really
Oh,
fun.
it looks so
Just
fun the way
always
she
be on
fucking
rollerblades.
busts that dude's face open.
Oh Jesus, yeah, I guess.
Like I was talking about like insert shots. There's a lot of cool sort of insert shots. A lot of cool like long shots as well in this movie.
Yeah, we didn't mention the opening shot. It's just one big long shot of him walking into the club. Amazing sequence.
Yeah, and there's so many of them that are so good.
Yeah.
I have my favorite one for sure, but as we like to say, we'll get to it. But I like these like they kind of remind me a little bit of like the Requiem for a Dream like drug doing scenes. These like insert shots of him like frying up or sorry, no, it's not that. I'm getting confused with something later. But no, what I meant to say is like when Jack and Amber go home, you know, there's this like cool quick cut of like the ice cubes going into like a glass, the pills being taken and
Yeah.
then like the snorting of the coke.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of those.
So many drugs taken in this movie. A lot of shots of people doing drugs.
A lot of drugs, yeah, for sure. I feel, it seems to me that it was definitely a huge part of this sort of
Oh, yeah.
like just it's always a huge part of culture in general, but then like a very big part of this subculture, probably to this day. I don't know. Wow, it would have been interesting to be able to get like an adult film content creator as a guest on this episode.
Yeah,
That's an alternate reality.
I don't know anything about it, but it does make total logical sense that if your inhibitions around like sexuality are that free, like I could see you being more free with some of your other inhibitions.
Yeah, for sure. And again, it's the 70s, man.
Yeah.
Everyone was
Yeah, it is.
everyone was doing coke, dude. Everyone was dancing their little asses off all fucking night.
Hell yeah. Oh yeah, and before I forget, because you mentioned Requiem for a Dream, it's funny you mentioned that because I was totally thinking of that movie a couple times watching this too. Not really for the drugs, but more for the structure of the plot, right? Where it's about this like climb to power, and then right when everything's going really well, it all kind of falls apart. You know what I'm talking about? Like this movie kind of picks itself back up again, but I think
I get
that's-
what you mean in the context of this movie. I don't really remember Requiem for
Oh,
a Dream,
sure.
and it's not something I like to think about too much, other than for the cinematography of when they do drugs.
Great soundtrack too. Yeah, but I think it's a common kind of structure in a movie like Blow or Wolf of Wall Street as well, where you have the very
Yeah.
good times and then things
The
just
rise
kinda,
and fall, yeah.
yeah, and there's something extremely powerful about those stories. Evocative. We get Amber trying to ask to talk to her son.
Yeah.
I will say right here, Amber might be my favorite character in some ways. I find her such an emotionally interesting character, and like I feel so bad for her, but also like not to jump ahead too much, but things like the arbitration scene near the
Yeah.
end, where you're like, well, I can totally understand why they don't want this woman to be around her son, but that also just feels so wrong, right?
Yeah, Julianne Moore, I think, is so
Yeah.
supremely talented, and
Yeah.
she is able to walk the line, the very fine line that is needed to walk between being sort of this like object of desire, but also object of motherly affection. Maybe I shouldn't use the word object so much because she's a fully fleshed out character, but
Yeah.
but she is kind of like, she does have this sort of like regard, as like this sort of like.
Well, yeah, this is kind of a thesis I came up with for the movie as we got by the time we got to the end, because like I said, I was thinking about like, what is this movie about? And what it really made me think of is that like I almost got like a traveling circus vibe by the end of this movie, where it's like these are all outcasts of society.
For sure, yeah, totally.
And this is their family that they've kind of collected. And I find Amber's whole arc of her becoming the mother of this family because she can't be a mother to her actual son so tragic and beautiful. Like really, really good.
Very Zissou-esque.
Yeah.
Kind of Zissou-esque.
Yeah, I guess that would also be a people who are good at stuff movie, kind of.
Yeah, no, I think we've mentioned it for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I brought it up a couple times because it does kind of fit that sort of like those sort of beats. But yeah, Amber's a great character, and I think we're drawn into her sort of emotional world like very quickly in the movie. Again, just moving so fast. Like I feel like if I'm like recounting the movie, I'm like thinking like, oh, we don't know about her son until whatever, but it is again like. And I was also thinking like him and Eddie and Jack don't meet like, but they meet in the first scene, right?
Yeah.
Like, and that's fucking sick. I love the way that it just moves like that.
Yeah. Jack also extremely fascinating character. I love cuz yeah, before I started watching it, I was like, I remember him being kind of cool, but like that's weird, right? And then I turned on the movie like, no, he is pretty cool. Like if you're going to work in the porn industry, like this is the director you want, I guess. I love how
He's the producer.
Jack?
Yeah.
He's not the director?
No, I think Kurt is like technically the director.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
I mean, you can tell because when they're talking about it, like he's telling him like, let's shoot the scene, and he's like, I have like some shadows I need to take care of. And it seems like more like Jack is like, he like connects the money to and he's also like, I I
I
mean,
thought Colonel was really like the.
he's like the guy with the money because a producer. He's like the executive producer
I
because a
see.
producer is, and in the like log line for the movie, it says an idealistic porn producer, but it is definitely he's writing this line of like he has a lot of creative input. Like he is part producer, part director,
Right,
and I
because
think
it kind
Kurt
of seems like his show.
Kurt is also like the cameraman and like the director in a way, but it is the producer's like production. The
Right.
producer's the one in charge. The director is the one who is in charge of facilitating the creative vision, right?
But
whereas,
yeah, that,
whereas
but that
the
does
producer,
sound like Jack to me, though.
yeah, for sure. I mean, I think like I said,
Yeah, he's writing that line.
it's like, and you even see there's a lot of exchange because this is a little, I think it's a less formal hierarchy because it is an adult film. Like, you even see, Dirk is pitching his idea for like a character, right? Like fucking Brock Landers and shit. So I think there's a lot of like collaboration in that way.
Yeah, for sure. I really enjoy just how many parties we get in this movie, like how much storytelling and how many moments happen at these parties, because it almost acts as like this timestamp throughout the movie of like, here are the big, like it always feels like it's kind of a snapshot of all of their lives together at one event.
Yeah, for sure. A lot of socializing, very social seeming industry. And then we have after Amber talking to her son, we have the setup of little Bill, and his wife who is repeatedly
Cheating on him.
cheating on him. I
So-
love him going like, "What the fuck are you doing?" It's so fucking funny. And when you like the way that he walks in, there's static on the TV, and you can hear very lightly in the background like the sound of bed springs.
Yeah.
Great setup. When I first watched it, I had no idea what was going on, but every time I rewatched it from now on, I'm always like, "There she goes."
Oh yeah, this isn't a party scene actually. That's right.
No,
just
it's
him
not a
coming home
party
from
scene.
work.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah, that's why I brought up the party thing. So
I figured as much.
so
But they were at a party at the club beforehand.
yeah.
So I was gonna let it slide.
Yeah. Cut it out. Cut it all out. Arpeggio is on violin here too when he's coming in. Crap, I just looked up the composer. Michael Penn. Yeah. I mean, a lot of just like,
Who also plays Nick the engineer.
yeah, which is cool. Yeah, a lot of just actual songs from bands in this, which is great and very much fits the vibe and the flow of the movie. But some great orchestral stuff too. And then yeah, I really noticed some of the work, and it actually kind of reminded me of some of Johnny Greenwood's work in There Will Be Blood, with like especially with the violin stuff. So that was cool. And yeah, she tells him to go sleep on the couch.
Yep. Don't stop, you big stud.
Something else that's really funny to me, and I didn't do this on purpose, but you guys were talking about last time threes and There Will Be Blood, how you kept noticing threes, or especially Keith. I noticed a lot of three stuff in this one. This is the first of 3 times
Yeah.
she will cheat on him.
I mean, that we see.
Well, of course, but in the movie, and every
Yes.
time that ramps up like his, destiny, I guess. And we get
Well, rule of threes, man,
yeah.
Classic rule of threes.
I was hoping we only got 3 of the karate in the mirror moments where he's giving himself a pep talk, but I think we do get 4 of those.
Yeah, I mean, we need to. He's the main character.
Yeah. Absolutely.
There's a lot of that in this movie as well. Like doing the same scene over just at a different point in time, which I think is really which is really cool. I think there's like a lot of these like one shots of like people walking through like crowds at different points in time to like show how time has passed and how things have like changed slightly,
Right. Totally. And then we get Dirk's room right after this, I think, right?
Yeah, in my notes he's still Eddie.
Yes. Yeah. I couldn't remember his name at first, so I could remember Dirk Diggler. I mean, that's a very easy name to remember.
His name was supposed to, in the original one, in like the short film, was like Samuel something Adams.
Sam Adams?
Yeah, a nod to the beer,
Okay, interesting. Oh, instead of Dirk Diggler.
No.
Like his
Before
actual
being
name.
Dirk Diggler, yeah.
Oh, that's so funny. Okay.
No, because it's called the Dirk Diggler story.
Love it. Yeah, I love the pan around we get here too. He does a lot of like cool kind of circular camera motion in this movie. I've always liked that stuff. Just looks really unique and an interesting way to show your environment, and then it like ends up landing on him in his speedo in front of the mirror doing karate, as we will see 3 more times.
You can see the outline of what people will sometimes call his meat print, like, and the implication of a large member is definitely present.
Hell yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, it's a big deal.
I mean, it's what it's what everyone's talking about,
Yeah. His mom really doesn't like getting kissed on the cheek, and I find this whole thing really.
Well, I did want to say he's got a bunch of sick Bruce Lee posters.
Oh hell yeah, yeah he does.
It's very sick.
It's just fun to like see who this dude is through his room.
Feels like a very 70s like 17-year-old,
Totally. Yeah, his mom sucks like a lot. And I wonder how much of that is just the commentary of like he's like this because of his mother completely. His father seems to be completely kind of, what's the word of it, like rolled over by his mother. Doesn't really stand up, spineless, I guess. Doesn't stand up for his son, doesn't stand up for himself really. I don't even know if he talks in the movie.
No, he says, I think he says a couple things. But this is also where there's some more cool insert shots of the sausage frying and then the coffee, going into the cup. His mom, she tells his dad that if he's gonna do that, to shave first.
It's the revulsion and the coldness in the way she says it that was really a big turnoff and a red flag for me.
Yeah, you can tell she's jaded. She's over it.
Oh yeah, well I was trying to figure out what her deal is. Is she just like super, like, does she have some trauma with sexuality and she's really weird about it and restrictive, like the way she just assumes his girlfriend's a whore later and all that, and just like how intense she is about sex and talking about it and getting kissed, and just how much does that affect Eddie and like who he is. And yeah, I don't know, very interesting.
Yeah, for sure. There is so much implied there, right? Like perhaps she got pregnant when she was very young. She was robbed of any sort of like life that she could have found outside of that. Or back in that time, perhaps, it was getting married or whatever. It was a way to survive or socially I don't know. Who knows, man? So many things, that could have gone wrong.
Yeah.
But she seems to like resent him in a way. Like my read was sort of like, you robbed me of the life that I could have had and you're fucking stupid. That makes it even fucking worse.
Yeah, she's really gross. A lot of bad moms between these 3 movies, right? Like we got the fish market mom and Perfume, and then the whole thing with Searching for Bobby Fischer's mom, and then this mom. No, I'm just kidding. But no, it is interesting to me that because
that's not funny, dude.
I was joking last time that the
that's
Searching for Bobby Fischer mom sucks.
Don't talk about Bonnie like that, dude.
No, she rocks.
Don't talk about Bonnie like that, dude.
But the theme of mothers in the people who are good at stuff, and so far that has become a pretty big, and we're coming right up on Mother's Day too, Alfredo. So I don't know. Interesting though, right? Like that has been an important thing to touch on in each of these movies, is the main character's relationship with their mother.
Yeah, for sure. Or lack thereof, right?
Exactly,
Perfume.
right? Yeah. But like even that, if he didn't have that, if he had a mother who actually loved him and like took care of him, who would he be?
Right. Or lack thereof.
Right. Or yeah, if Bonnie was crueler and Searching for Bobby Fischer, then maybe he would have been like Jonathan. Just a cold chess machine. Yeah, she says school never occurred to you.
Oh, I did notice here that Mark Wahlberg is left-handed.
Oh.
And confirmed.
Wow.
By an internet search.
Great.
Yep. Add him to the Hall of Southpaws.
Yeah, that's two movies in a row. And then next I just have the Radio Shop.
Yeah. Buck is fucking hilarious. I love him.
Me up this whole movie.
I love him using the jargon and like making shit up to try and sell it. And when he turns on the fucking country music,
What a punchline,
God,
dude.
it's so fucking funny.
Really?
Go on and move with it if you need to. It helps me.
Yeah. There's a lot of assholes in this movie too, and I think it's part of the reason I appreciate Jack so much. Because his manager, is just like comes up to him and is like basically telling him, "I only like hired you so you'd bring hot girls in here." Just being a total asshole to him, like, yeah, dig at the end.
Yeah. He's got to change his attitude, which is kind of setting up, maybe it's time for Buck to go on his own,
Yeah, I love Buck's arc in this. He's such a pure character. Like, in a way, he feels like the one, even though there's drama happening around him, he feels like the most, like, put together, like, of this cast in a lot of ways, of just, like, confident in who he is, knows what he wants, believes in himself, and he's just very, like, gentle and kind.
I think he's like one of the like male actors too who isn't super involved in the whole like, getting addicted to drugs thing, which I think helps him in that sense as well.
Right.
He has kind of like a more clear goal of what he wants to do once he knows like what he wants to do.
I'm just thinking about him sitting at that party in that stupid costume.
Yeah, he's got like the Rick James wig on. Yeah, and then we have Roller Girl. She's taking this test, right? Gwyneth Paltrow was originally offered this role, but she turned it down. Yeah.
Wow.
And I did have a note like, wow, look, so many. There's like a mullet on the guy sitting right in front of her, and I was like, this guy looks like he could be some fucking hipster walking down Broadway in Capitol Hill,
I can see it, yeah, totally.
The sound design here is so good too. It's so dead quiet. There's just like the light sound of the creaking of the desks, and there's that fucking guy who I love that it comes back. Like, he's the exact same actor that comes in the car later on.
Oh, I was wondering about that. I was like, I wonder if he was one of the guys in the classroom.
Yeah, it is. It's the guy who's like so like accurately miming fellatio.
Yeah, it's
like,
very gross.
Yeah, he does
really
a really
gross.
good job at it, dude. Like, he's a person who is good at that.
Man.
And then she just rolls out, dude.
Yeah, which again just made me laugh so hard because I wasn't expecting her to have the rollerblades on.
Yeah, this movie's silly, dude.
It's really silly.
This movie's definitely one of those movies that like has that like sort of like detachment of the like comedy that allows it to present these very heightened situations to make these like deeper commentaries.
Yeah, while still being very fun.
After last week, I've been thinking a lot about sincerity because I was thinking, what is it about like something like Finding Nemo and Searching for Bobby Fischer that like, what is the difference? And I think it's that like I so greatly appreciate attempts at sincerity.
Yeah.
Cause it gets a lot of bonus points for me. This movie does not feel like that. Again, it has this sort of like ironic detachment, not ironic detachment, but almost like this, like the comedy and like the just like of everything.
Right. Yeah. I mean, how seriously are you really taking Roller Girl?
Well, at certain points, I want to take her pretty seriously.
Exactly, and that's what the movie does so well. But
it does do a good job, but like never as serious as I'm gonna take Josh.
Yeah, exactly.
Like Wait Skin and fucking.
He's and like same for Eddie, right? Eddie's so fucking silly.
Yeah.
And this shit he says is so silly, and he's so dumb. But I love the goofball.
I love the way that Cheryl Lynn says, "Your cock is so beautiful." And she's like asking, "Do you know how good you are at fucking me? Making love to me?" So it's clear like he's got it and he knows how to use it.
Yeah, and he plans on being a star, he tells her.
Yeah. The seeds are being planted for why we chose this movie. Because there was I think it kind of came up as like, oh, this is a person who's good at stuff.
Yeah, like a
movie.
joke. Yeah.
And I think I don't know if it was
not a joke, but like
yeah,
it's a funny answer.
if it was me, it was 100% serious, but with a smirk. If it was Connor, it might have been more of a with a bit of a haha.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's yeah. So I was I felt rewarded that we soldiered on and watched this one because it is like totally of this ilk. Like he is really someone who is good at, like he has a talent and it's
Oh, yeah.
important and it's central to the movie.
Well, like I said, it follows that structure of so many of these other types of
Yeah.
stories of the climb to success and the
Yeah,
fall, right?
yeah, for sure. The up and the down.
Yeah. And yeah, Jack sends Roller Girl to Dirk. This is the first time I wrote down the big reveal. She's gonna go down on him, and it's just the moment. Like I don't even know. I don't think there is, but in my head there's a golden light pouring from his pants onto her face, and I think there might be a golden light
Like Pulp
coming.
Fiction.
I think there's exactly. I think there's a light from like a golden light coming from the room outside. So I think that is the lighting of it. Is that
It is, yes. But what I like right before that is when she rolls up, it's a very low angle shot, and you see her skates. He's like fully visible.
Oh yeah.
And like
That's
her
a cool
skates
shot.
come in. And then I wrote a note about this. I love the lighting in the closet.
Yeah, it
like,
looks really
or
good.
Wherever she.
I did wonder why she left the door open, but I immediately was just like, well, it looks great. So
That's the answer. That's the answer.
yeah.
Absolutely. And she was impressed.
Oh yeah. I mean, like I said, it's the big reveal every
Yeah.
time the big reveal happens in this movie.
But
It's a moment of
people
awe,
are
dude.
doing great.
It reminds me of the end of Perfume.
People
Spoilers.
are doing great face work.
Oh yeah.
Great face work in this.
Oh yeah. And they immediately pick him up, Jack
Yeah.
and
I love how she says-
Amber and Roller Girl,
And she says, "Remember me from a couple hours ago?"
and he's just like, yeah. Yeah, hard offer to turn down. He goes with them. They go to a diner,
Yeah.
and Jack pitches them. I think Jack is hilarious, because
He's bringing out like all of like production and like the cost of everything. too.
Right, but he has this moment where he starts getting like sappy, and right before he goes into it, Amber's heard it so many times. She's like, "Oh, here we go," and he starts going into just like, "I want people to like sit down and
Yeah.
appreciate my art and
Yeah.
like what we've created. I want to make something that is true and right and dramatic," and it's just like, again, so fucking funny because he's making porn.
Yeah. And he says something about when the joy juice is gone, what keeps them in their seat or some shit. The joy juice thing was fucking amazing. But this is shot so fucking well.
Yeah.
This dialogue scene is amazing because we have this sort of like we have these basically like two shots like of like Roller Girl and I think it's like Amber and Jack and Roller Girl and Eddie sitting across from each other, but it slowly becomes like a single of each of Eddie and Amber. It's very sort of cool how like it slowly happens, and it is during this part I think where he's starting to give his pitch, right? So like you kind of see like along with Amber, it's not so much about what Jack is saying, it's about Amber sort of like zeroing in on him and wanting to sort of like, I don't know, because the wild thing about the relationship is that she does like want to like fuck him, like because there's a scene later on. This is a very weird, twisted, complicated thing, but yeah, I just thought that was very beautiful, very creative, and there's some cool behind the head sort of like focus shifting of like where you see that like he's sort of like staring at her and then starts to go back and listen again to like Jack's pitch.
I love that. Yeah, I mean the cinematography in this is
the
top tier.
the camera movement is really fucking good. Really, really well done.
Yeah, the next thing I have is them back at Jack's place, and he's talking about Amber, and he says she's a mother to all those who need love, and yeah, the whole like mother arc for her is extremely powerful, I think.
Yeah, it is. It's so wild.
Roller Girl gets naked.
Well, yeah, he asks him if he wants to have sex with her.
Yeah.
And he says she's real foxy.
And she sure is. She tells him, "I don't take my skates off."
And don't fucking come in me. And then you hear him say, "Aim it at her tits, Eddie." That's fucking hilarious.
I love how it pans to, or not, I don't know, it just cuts to Jack sitting there.
Yeah.
And it's just
smoking his cigar.
Yeah, and he just
He's
looks
smoking like Black and Milds the whole time, I think.
he looks so he's not bored. He's like 2 steps up above bored, like intrigued, I suppose, but like not excited, not super into it. He's just like almost like an artist, like looking at
It's
to
like
see.
he's working.
Yeah, yeah. He's going into his work state. It's so funny to me, man. I love it.
And the song that she puts on is Brand New Roller Skates.
Yeah.
This is fucking great. And this is where we get our cold open that we sort of did,
Yeah.
where Eddie gets home late.
His mom is a dick.
Mom is up late smoking, waiting for him, and she's pissed, talking about, and she's insulting Cheryl. And I had a note earlier about like he like very easily had sex with like will let another woman like suck his dick, and then had sex with that same woman very casually.
And he's also jerking off for money on the side.
Yeah, well that seems less like less infidelity than the other thing. I don't know why, than the other things. I don't know why. But then like and then so when she's like insulting Cheryl Lynn, he's like, she's not my girlfriend. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, I just kind of assumed they
were casual.
Yeah, just because of
I just thought it
everything
was
else
funny.
he's doing.
I had a note where I just thought it was funny that I had this note where like that's really casual way to cheat on your girlfriend. Oh wait, never mind. Guess I shouldn't have assumed that was his girlfriend.
Right. Yeah, and mom calls her trash.
She disagrees with her lifestyle.
And
she's fucking other people. She tells him.
Yeah, that's why like all the hangups she has around sex, especially like I wonder if it's a response, his attitude towards this, like a really Puritan family, for example, and people who act out as soon as they get to college because of that. But I don't know. She doesn't strike me as like religious. She's just a problem.
Yeah, I think it's also like, what do we need to focus on for this story? We set up that like home is not a good place. He was never very successful academically, and he has an interest in being like, famous in a way. I think that like I love how much else is implied too with like what we're talking about, like what was his mom's life like?
Because there's so much there. If she was just mean, that would be one thing, but like the thing like her like being so put off by the father's kiss, and like so just like there's something wrong, right? Like there's something wrong with her. And it's affecting the main character.
It was very well done too, like very efficient, very like just very very small couple of details that are thrown out there. I guess not really a detail to like yell about, how the girl that he sees is
right, but like the things that she's upset about too,
right,
is
are
so
all
telling.
sex related. Yeah, it all like revolves around sex, but also feels very like feels very like 17-year-old. Like mom of a 17-year-old, know?
Yeah. It could be. I could be overthinking it too, but just very interesting character.
I think I don't think you are. I think it's a great point. But I'm saying that it's believable because it is because it is sort of couched in that sort of thing. But yeah, she's wild, dude.
She's just so like there's so much anger there.
Yeah.
I think that's the scary part. Like you really see just how much darkness comes out. Like venom from her on him. Like it doesn't feel like it's coming from a place of love. It's like she's just getting it all out.
Yeah, I mean, and it's also like I have to wonder this. Like he is not very smart.
No.
She's right about that.
Yeah.
He does go all the way, like he goes out of his way to work at this club.
Oh yeah, we didn't even mention that.
Is it because he's like obsessed with porn and he wants to be a porn star? Like I feel like kind of putting that into context, and he's 17. Like, if I were his mom, I wouldn't react like that.
Yeah, that's a good point. There could be way more baggage in this relationship in that way,
Yeah, I mean...
Like, maybe because he's a nymphomaniac, pretty much, right? So maybe this has been an ongoing problem for many years.
I don't know. I don't know if he's like a nymphomaniac. Do you think he's a nymphomaniac?
Maybe not. I mean, there's aspects of his personality that's like, let's fuck, but that's also very much wrapped up in his ego and his image. I think at the beginning,
it's just that he has that God-given stamina and like and short refractory period. Later on, I think it's just the drugs, right? Where he's like, I'm ready to fuck and I want to fuck now.
Yeah,
it's my big cock.
Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe he's not an nymphomaniac.
I don't think he is. It's because in the beginning it feels so pure. Like
yeah. You're right.
but still, you would be concerned, you know, like
Sure.
you would be concerned. Maybe not acting like this, but yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, his labored breathing in their argument where he's like that's so good, dude. It
Dude,
feels so Mark Wahlberg too.
He's fantastic in this because he's so it's because he still plays it like such an idiot, like that but like while being so heartfelt, like he's dumb in a funny way while also not being dumb in a funny way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you like it's kind of tragic.
Exactly. Yeah, like he's being hilarious and like very heartfelt and like I'm sympathizing for him simultaneously.
But there's also so much of him that's posturing, you know, the clothes. I mean, we'll get into it in this next sort of part because, you know, like he shows up at the pool party. We get another one of these like, you know, big sort of gatherings. He's going to see we're going to see the people from the club again, you know. And
and the fact that the next scene after this fight is him going into like Jack's embracing arms, basically.
For sure.
Like this is, and it's such a good commentary on what happens when you push your children away like this, right? Like,
yeah,
you wanted him to be better. You're literally, well, what's he gonna do now, right?
Yeah, who can he turn to?
Yeah,
and it actually is mirrored really well at the very end.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, that's a great point.
And when he's meeting the crew, you know, he fucking Jack says to Buck, he says, "Is that a facha?" And Buck says, "Oh yeah." And then he says, "Wait, facha's face, right?" I just love that little exchange. It's really cute.
There's so many good conversations here.
But him getting introduced to Reed, right?
Yes, no, the whole the squat conversation while they're pouring margaritas.
These guys, like,
people tell me I look like Han Solo.
Yeah, dude.
What do you bench?
Yeah, you say first. Like, they're so cute together, dude. Like, I like their little bromance.
Yeah,
you know,
that's great. But also so silly. Like, Reed is one of the most like. Does he have any emotional stuff in this movie? I don't think so, really, right?
No, he doesn't. John C. Reilly is great. I
He's
love
so
John C. Reilly as a choice for.
Yeah.
So he's in Heart 8, which I don't think you've seen.
No, I have not.
But John C. Reilly is such a great choice. I feel like for the other another, because you got like the guys who are implied to be part of like Jack Horner's crew of like porn actors are. We got Dirk Diggler, we got Reed Rothschild, and we got Buck Swopes, right? So it's just funny. You think, like, totally Mark Wahlberg, Don Cheadle, but then John C. Reilly weirdly does feel like, you know, I'm not an expert in 70s pornography, but something about him just feels right for it, you know? Like,
I can see it, yeah. I know what you mean.
If only he had a mustache, and I think that would really sell it even more, but yeah. Also, I realized in this movie, I stopped paying attention at a certain point, but, like, margaritas are the only drink I heard be ordered in the first couple scenes.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
That's
I mean,
funny.
drinks were only really ordered like twice, but you know.
That's funny, yeah. I didn't notice.
I also, as a bartender, I appreciated his count where he's like 2, 4, whatever.
Nice.
Classic.
We get Buck. Cowboy look is coming back.
It ended 6 years ago. But right before that is when the Colonel arrives.
Oh, yeah, that's
and
right.
And having seen this movie a few times,
I didn't remember who this was until later, so I didn't take note of him.
Yeah, he is with this girl, and she asks if there's coke at the party, and she's young, and you can tell she's young, and you're supposed to think that she is young. Maybe you don't notice when you first watch,
or
you're thinking of, or like on like first couple watches, but it's a thing that continues throughout the movie, you know?
Yeah, very dark stuff.
Yeah, for sure, and that's what I'm saying too. There's like because later on in this same party, she like starts like overdosing.
Right.
And the guy's like, "No, man, this is the second time this has happened to me this week."
Oh my god. Yeah, that's the thing, right? It's like,
and then the guy's like, "Maybe it's time to get some new stuff, man."
Yeah, exactly. It's so silly. Like, that's so funny while just being like some of the darkest shit you could put in a story.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. I also love the other things that we get like around the pool are like Maurice telling Amber that he wants something he can send back to Puerto Rico to his brothers. And I think it's so insane that he wants it to be him being in a porno. Like, that's so fucking funny.
He's just such a funny guy in this movie too. I mean, he's kind of like Reed, right? Like,
yeah, Luis Guzman is fucking hilarious.
Yeah, he's
really great. And Reed and Eddie like having this very like little boy relationship where it's like, do a cannonball. No, check out this jackknife. He's like, yeah, that was cool. Let me show you what you did wrong. And then he does the like tries to do the flip. He's like, you gotta bring your legs all the way around. And he's
It's like, yeah, I know.
it was so fucking.
He's so
Kind of reminds me of
embarrassed.
Step Brothers a little
Yeah,
bit.
it did too for me. Yeah, just so like it almost crosses the line of too goofy while still not breaking the vibe of this world.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is so impressive.
Yeah, and then we get the phone call where Luis Guzman and Don Cheadle are talking to each other, and Luis Guzman is like, "Where would you dig, man?" And then they're calling for someone named Maggie, and he starts sort of like calling out for Maggie.
This part's really sad.
And we're planting these seeds
Yeah.
of sadness. You know, he says some kid looking for his mom. Then we cut to Amber doing coke.
Yeah. Yeah.
She really kills it with like the longing stares. You know, the sort of eye acting. Like you really get a lot from that.
Totally. Oh, and before this, we did get a shot, like another underwater shot, which I appreciated because we got that, and There Will Be Blood as well. And I think that always looks like it's like someone walking into the pool, and the camera just follows them underwater, and I thought that was awesome.
You also get one of John C. Reilly going like, "Ow," under the water, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
And then we have Little Bill walking up on a circle of people watching his wife get fucked. Yeah.
And she tells him to shut up because he's embarrassing her.
It's insane, dude. And I love that, like, then Kurt kind of takes him aside. This is Ricky Jay's character. He's talking to him about, like, what they need. And this is also kind of, like, why I felt like he might be.
Mm-hmm.
He definitely seems to be, like, the camera guy, cinematographer.
Yeah, that was more my take, is that he was, like, kind of in charge of, the filming aspect of it.
But he does do a little bit of directing later on. Once they get to video.
Once
they get to video. I did love the line that he says where Little Bill is like, he just wants to keep it like really minimal, and he says to him, minimal photographically means more than people think. Which I love, because this is what I was saying about searching for Bobby Fischer, that a lot of these supernaturally lit looking scenes do require more work, and I love the sprinkling of those little things throughout, you know.
Totally.
Good shit.
And I also wrote here that Kurt is a dick. I wrote that many times throughout this movie. All these guys are dicks. Like, he's like, my wife is fucking cheating on me right there.
He says, my wife has an ass in her cock.
and he's just like, oh yeah, sure. And then he just like keeps talking over poor little Bill here, and eventually little Bill, like basically the only time he stands up for himself, except when the final time, and he says, "Are you giving me shit, Kurt?" It's just so funny, man.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I like Kurt. I think he's funny as fuck.
Yeah, I don't remember him too often in this movie, but he definitely came off as an asshole in that scene.
I like his character a lot. I love him, just seeing him behind the camera, how he reacts to things.
Yeah.
And he always just has like a very similar demeanor. Every time I don't know, I definitely noted a lot of things he said, because I just sort of, I liked his presence. It was very, very funny.
Hell yeah. No, I mean, I remember during Eddie's first scene, there's the shot of the big reveal, and it just zooms
like
in on
him and Rocky looking at it.
Yeah. That shot's great.
And then after that, we do get the scene we were talking about, where he's like, I think she's sick, and the whole thing about second time in 2 days. And this is our introduction, and I wrote, oh my God, my prince, PSH, arrives. God rest his soul.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Legendary man that he is. And I love as he walks, Scotty J walks around the girl being taken out. He goes, oh, is she all right?
Yeah, there's like, get out of my way or whatever.
And he notices Eddie immediately, you know? And you can tell, Scotty J.
Immediately
taking
infatuated.
a shine, yeah.
Yeah. Eddie meets the Colonel.
Yeah, and we have a close-up on their handshake, too.
Yeah, like shaking hands with the devil or something.
Yeah, kind of, dude. Totally.
He asks him to may I see you?
Well, he says, Jack says you got a great big cock.
Yeah. And but again, another big reveal where he shows
I think he
it to
says,
him.
may I see it. I don't think he says, may I see you.
Oh, probably. And yeah, the shot of him looking down, and he just like slowly looks up, and like he has to like take time to like settle down from what he just saw, and he says, well, thank you, Eddie.
Yeah, that's great. Really fucking funny. Love all the mystique. being built out. I know Rebecca Romaine Stamos. I know Jennifer. Oh my God, I can't remember her name. I know neither of those people are in this movie, but there's a lot of Mystique.
Oh, there sure is.
That's a reference to the cinematic interpretations of Mystique.
Love it. Thank you. Buddy's poem when they're in the hot tub.
Yeah,
Absolute
it's so bad.
shite.
It's so
The
fucking bad.
bees won't sting because you love me was the last line, I believe.
And I love Eddie's just like, that's fucking great, man.
Yeah.
Some cool underneath lighting. We get some of this really cool, awesome, like, again, thinking about motivation, where lighting is coming from for different scenes, creatively kind of lit. Not like super creatively, like, oh, art house sort of lighting, but like some very awesome, like, thoughtful sort of placement
just
of lights.
looks really good and frames things really well.
His whole thing, because they told him that he needed a name, a new name in the last scene.
This scene will forever be stuck in my head.
But the way that he describes what he sees, and then we fucking see it too. Love that.
The
That's
sign
so good.
With his name and neon lights, and it gets so
explodes,
bright it blows up. Yeah.
It's in blue neon, outlined in purple, and it's so powerful. Like it like explodes.
Dirk Diggler. No, that it didn't make me laugh as hard last night. But the first time I saw that, I just laughed my ass off.
It's so good.
So ridiculous.
Yeah, him describing it is so fucking good.
And Jack says, "I think heaven has sent you here to me, Dirk Diggler."
Yeah. Then we're on set where Kurt, this thing I mentioned earlier, where Kurt needs 20 to 30 minutes to deal with some tough shadows. Little Bill is going over the scene with Jack, and then I love his reaction to Dirk Diggler, and he's like, "Yeah, that's Eddie's new name," and he goes, "Good name."
Yeah, dude, I love Little Bill, man. I feel so bad for him.
Yeah. He gets walked all over.
Yeah, he's so like nice to everyone all the time.
And this is a very, very key moment because Jack changes it up. He says, "I want him to fuck Amber, not Becky."
Yeah, big moment. It goes on a couple times. People commenting on his name, and it's really funny to me because Scotty comes to him.
Yeah, he comes up and gets him, but Dirk needs a minute.
Yeah, we get our second karate moves in the mirror here. That's right, he says. Yeah. And then, Scotty tells him, I like your name a lot. It's really good.
Yeah,
really cool, I think.
Yeah, he tells him it's really cool, and he also tells him that he looks sexy.
Yeah.
And I love that as they go down into the scene, they descend into total darkness.
Yeah.
And then, like, completely dark, and then the door opens onto the porn set. And we have this sort of, like, handheld shot for the dialogue. And we get this sort of, like... we see that like Dirk is like he's like a nice guy, you know. He's talking to Amber. He's asking for consent.
Yeah.
He's kind of like figuring out what the boundaries are, right?
Yeah.
And I like this stuff. You know, I feel like it kind of
well, the little scene between Amber and him right before they start shooting, I thought was super sweet.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah. What did she say? Oh yeah, and that's the part where is it okay if I make it look sexy to her? But then they get like it was very like very like I don't know, gentle and like
like I'm saying he's asking for consent. He's like seeing that they're on the same page before they engage.
But she's also
together.
being like you'll be great and all that and like
she's very reassuring as well.
It's
it's
really
a good
sweet.
exchange. We see like the sweet side of both of these people.
Yeah, I love that. And then it immediately becomes really funny again.
Yeah. As soon as we hear the action Dirk, we cut from the handheld to like this tripod shot that is supposed to be the actual film playing, and then we're seeing everyone's reaction to his fucking dick, and it's so great because Scotty shudders, and then we see Becky and Reed both tilt their heads to the right.
Yeah, it's so funny getting everyone's reaction. It really does. Again, it feels like in my head I see the golden light coming off.
You
the
remember
set.
what Amber says about it? She says, "This is a giant cock." I hate the sound of the smacking lips in this part of the movie. Like, but
I thought it was a very awkward makeout scene.
It felt awkward. Yeah, I think it's you know his first time.
Yeah.
Like but yeah, the sound design I think also like worked with that, right? So like even though it like kind of like got on my nerves, I understood why it was there.
Yeah, and this is a really long love scene. This goes on for a
Yeah,
long time.
it's awesome. I love how it started. We got the cool pushing into the iris of the camera,
Yes,
sort of
so
contracting,
cool.
focusing. We get the inner mechanism of the camera,
Like the image is flipped upside down.
and we see the wheel turning, and it's like a symbol symbolizing his amazing endurance, and then it runs
Oh,
out.
I didn't think about it like that. I love that. Yeah,
It's like 20 minutes.
that's so good. Yeah.
That's like it a real I don't know. I think it's pretty, I don't know. It might be different for different ones, but yeah, like 20ish minutes I could believe for sure. And I love how they're like we got to load a new magazine, and he like the whole rigmarole of little Bill walking over as well.
There's just like this. It's such an interesting contrast because there's just so much reverence and like it feels like there's like this miracle happening in this room because he's so goddamn good at this.
Yeah. They're all just watching in awe. Like they're at church or something.
Yes, exactly. It just feels like this is their religion here, and it's like they're witnessing just something that most mortals will never see kind of thing, and I love it. Yeah, he keeps asking, does it look sexy? And
Yeah, when they're saying we got to change angles. Yeah, he wants to know if it looks sexy.
Yeah, I think he has Little Bill too, and he's like, "Oh,
Yeah.
it looks great."
Yeah. No, he does. You're doing great, And it is cute the way that she like Amber Coat is like coaching Dirk
Yeah.
throughout this whole like sort of experience.
Mm.
Also in the movie they're making, she says, "John, you're a wonderful actor." And Dirk Diggler is based on John Holmes, so I thought that was a little nod,
Oh, that's great.
There's also so many. I love the shot of the camera too. At one point, like we see them fucking, and there's like the noise of them having sex, and then it cuts to the lens watching it, like the camera lens watching them have sex, and all we hear is the film running and the lights.
Yeah.
It just like, I don't know. I think it gives it this sort of like everything else is so quiet, right?
Right.
Nobody else is making a single sound on set, which you shouldn't, right? If you're making a film, but it's just like everything is standing still in this moment and watching him as he realizes what he is good at in this life, which is fucking and making porn.
He really is good
Because
at
she tells him to come inside of her.
Yeah, when at first she said, like, come on my chest or tits.
Yeah, that was part of their negotiation before
Yeah.
the scene started. And then she wants him to come inside of her. And she's like, "Don't worry, I won't get pregnant because I have had my tubes tied."
Yeah.
Even though she says it in a different way. I'm not going to say the way she said it. I felt like the way she said it is kind of, I was like, whoa.
Sure. Yeah, like a dog. Like.
Well,
fixed.
yeah, no, she says, "I'm fixed." Yeah,
Yeah.
it felt a little, I was like, wow, whoa. But that's movies, they talk like that. And I love the whole thing about like Lil Bill, like, we missed the cum shot,
Yeah, this
and
is
then
so funny.
and then fucking Dirk's like, "I can do it again if you want me to."
if you need a close up.
Yeah, it's so fucking funny.
He's already ready to go. Yeah.
It's
He's a
insane.
legend. Legendary.
Yeah. And then we get the start of a montage, and I love how it starts with the
Yeah.
champagne bottle
Yeah.
and the foam.
Yeah.
That's
I
a
mean,
dick
come
coming.
on now.
That's a
Come
dick
on
coming
now.
right there, dude.
Come on now. Get it?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're trying out clothes. They're at the club. Life is good. They're filming another scene.
I just want to say, "Are these shoes lizard? No, they're Italian," is an amazing line.
Yeah. They're a big hit. Sex montage. I think we get like 4 panels side by side of him fucking in different movies. Great stuff. And I think they go out one by one, and that's kind of like the end of the montage. But like, yeah, super well. I love montages. They're great.
Yeah, there's a great choreographed like disco dance scene as well.
Yes, the coordinated dance. That was my next line. Yeah.
I love him asking if it's like, "Jack, should I use a Spanish accent?" And then we have all the reviews about
Yeah.
this movie they've made, and this guy gives it like 10 hard-ons, and it's so funny to think about like reviews for these movies.
Yeah.
Another thing too was like when they show the scenes of him like of like a woman like doing fellatio on him, like their heads are so high, so high that like I'm like that the implication of the length of that member is very long.
That's so funny.
Yeah, but they're young and hot and super successful.
Yeah. Yeah, we get a moment of they're pitching their show idea to Jack. And Dirk
Well, I
said
think it's like a series of movies.
yes. He's saying that he doesn't like slapping girls around. He says it's not sexy because I guess that's what's in the
Yeah.
script.
And he says Dirk doesn't like well no, he's referring to John Holmes's character, Johnny Wad. He doesn't like that character that he has. He says that slapping girls around isn't sexy. He has his own sort of like action porn star that he wants to do, which is
Brock Landers.
And then Chest Rockwell. Chest, not Chet, Chest.
Yeah, I love that.
It's so fucking good. And the next scene, very quickly, we have Dirk Diggler. He wins Best Newcomer, and I spelled it Cumer. He also wins Best Cock and Best Actor.
Wow. What a legend. Yeah, he gives a whole speech. Let's keep rocking and rolling. That's what I wrote down there. That was kind of the gist of it.
Yeah, and you know what I thought was interesting? He seems very excited at this point when you see him talking. This
is a dream come true. This is everything he wanted.
For sure. But I was noticing, is there a little bit of an implication of drug use at this point? But then I remembered, because it's in the movie, that there is a very clear moment when he first tries cocaine.
I had thought it was sooner too, and it wasn't until he does it that I was like, oh yeah, I guess he hasn't started doing drugs yet. Wild.
Yeah, because it kind of seems like at that point, maybe he's I don't know. But I think it's just his excitement, right?
Right. Oh man, it's so sad that it's Amber, given that the whole mother thing,
she does it right before she does it with him and then fucks him.
Yeah, well, no, I was just thinking how sad it is because it's she is the mother of this traveling circus or whatever, and you see how she fucks up his life, and that's why she can't be with her son. That's so sad.
Yeah. She's probably the most tragic character.
Oh yeah.
We see cuts of the first Brock Landers film.
Yeah.
A lot of really fucking funny lines, like "Why don't you feast on that?"
They're at a diner. And we do get a title card. It's 1978 now. And one of the lines, I could die of starvation if I don't get something in my mouth.
Yeah. Yeah. And then that's when he later says, why don't you feast on that?
Yeah, that's great.
But he doesn't say it like that.
He gets to do karate in these movies too, man.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. This is what he was born
to be. Dream come true. Yeah, it's fucking hilarious.
Oh yeah, the name of the episode, Angels Live in My Town.
Angels Live in My Town. Yeah, it's good shit, dude. I also I love the part where she goes, "Oh, it's true. You are Brock Landers." After she sees his dick. It's so fucking funny.
We get this is kind of now they're up and coming. He's living large. This is the good times. We get a little house tour.
He's dating Jessie too, which is this very funny thing that starts, and then she starts dating Buck, and there's nothing that really comes of that. It's just sort of you see in this scene, essentially.
Yeah.
Oh, where he also has his Dirk Diggler curtains that have the DD on it. She's done the funny paintings of him. We do see that she's working on one, and there's already one when he's showing Amber around his new place.
Right.
But you see, how excited he is about all his new things, especially his new sports car. He's got a new Corvette.
Hell
dude.
Yeah, it is.
I think some of the outfits in this movie are so wild, and they're true to the time for sure, but I'm like, that does not look good. But what he's wearing in this scene, he's got these khakis on with this red long sleeve top that has these sort of bright colors around the collar. I really dig this look.
Hell yeah.
I'm going to give it 4 flames out of 5.
Nice. I don't remember it, but that's great. We have another scene from their movie. They solve the case.
Yeah, Chico betrayed them, dude.
Yeah. And this is again just so funny to me. He's watching this terribly acted shit porn scene, and and just the reverence he has for what he's creating.
This is the best work we've ever done.
and yeah, the guy, I think it's Dirk says to him, right? It's a real film.
No,
Jack.
that's Kurt. Yeah.
Yeah, Kurt.
Yeah, I love the way it's a real film, Jack. It's so sincere, right? The way he says it is fucking great. This is the film that he wants people to remember him by too, man. This is so fucking funny. And then we get him winning again now, and all he says is thank you.
Yeah, he's changed, man.
No, he's got the
changed.
ego. The ego
Yeah.
is there, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, no, it is sad to see this because I forgot how big of a dick he becomes by the final act of the movie. Um, Becky and Jerome are
Yeah.
chatting. They're like barely in this movie, but they keep coming up. I feel like.
Becky is in the beginning of the movie a lot. She's in like a lot of the scenes. She's the one who's talking to she's the one talking to Buck about his cowboy look
Right.
and about how it like ended 6 years ago. And he's like, "Well, what's your look?" And she says, "Chocolate love."
Yeah, I think I did.
She
write that
also
down.
says at one point she is the one right before Dirk's first scene. She goes, "I need to." She's like, "Where are you going?" And she's like, "I need to wash my vagina. You want it to be clean, don't you?"
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're in the movie, but it's just funny.
No,
like,
I'm just saying. I love Becky. This is where Jerome first appears. Jerome is just like Becky's out of the industry, really.
interesting. Yeah, it's one of those. It's unusual, and I'm not even saying I don't like it. I think I do kind of like it. That it's just like these characters that are so on the periphery of the story, but like it feels more real because that's how real life is. You are gonna have people that are more on the peripheral of the story that do have important things happening in their life that you're involved in.
Yeah, for sure. And I think they're like when they move to Bakersfield later on is kind of like a point right before things really start going south.
So they
for
got
everyone.
out. Is that maybe that's the moral there? Is like look at how well their lives are going because they got out so soon.
Yeah, I thought it was like there's a little bit of that, but also sort of like a nice little symbol of like the group is like being torn apart, right?
Yeah, that's a good point too. Yeah, interesting.
And then we have Philip Baker Hall show up. This guy's fucking great.
This is Todd.
He's in Heart 8. No, this is not Todd.
Oh,
Todd shows up at the end of this scene. No, he's Floyd. He has these 2 boys and 2 girls with him. He's like the future of this sort of thing, right?
That's right. Yeah.
He's gonna talk to because this is the it says goodbye 70s, hello 80s, right? Because this
Yes.
is New Year's.
In the way it stood out to me, it has to be on purpose. The way like the word hell in the word
yeah.
hello.
Well,
like,
it's because something blocks
yeah.
the O when you first see it.
Yeah, and I think just like I think there's even a little more space with the O or something like where he really shows you.
No, I
here
definitely
comes
was-
the
yeah.
bad times.
I was definitely like hell,
Yeah.
80s, and then the head moved, and I was like, oh, there's the O. Okay.
Yeah, some great. That's the kind of thing I would have never thought about in the first time watching, but the second time, like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, it's about to get bad.
Yeah, but he talks to the colonel, and they're like, all right, let's try to talk to Jack before the new year. We also get, Jesse seems uncomfortable. We see like reaction of her, and she seems uncomfortable with Amber and Dirk's relationship because like she like think Amber comes and grabs Dirk while like they're together. So this is when she goes to Buck, right? And this is the start of their relationship, which is also very sort of cute. They are sort of the other ones that kind of like quote unquote make it out, I guess, if you'll say. Even though Buck, man, fuck. Buck is a great character too. A great like side character throughout the film because the shit that happens to him is like
so wild.
I think it's a cool way to explore the different facets, the different sort of possibilities of like you are an adult film actor. These
Right.
are things that could happen to you. He's like denied a bank loan, right? And Dirk gets addicted to drugs,
Yeah.
These different paths. Becky finds someone, gets married, and moves away.
Right. No, I love that. I love Book.
But yeah, we do get
a lot
Todd.
of car specs with Todd. Yeah.
Yeah.
Todd is an interesting character. He's not in it too much, but like he has
Yeah.
a big presence for sure.
Thomas Jane, is great in this. I love he does kind of represent this like turning of the friend group of like
yeah,
he's like that real bad influence.
100%. He's insane and kind of a dumbass at the end, but
Yeah.
I like
I
him.
love that. I think that's probably my favorite scene.
It's pretty fucking wild.
But yeah, we get Buck and Jesse talking. She compliments his look, but he ultimately takes the wig off. I think they're really cute with the love.
Yeah,
I love sunsets.
I like them too.
But sunrises are better.
Yeah, all these guys are such idiots.
They're so cute.
It's really cute, but it's
So simple.
yeah, just like, I also love sunrises. I thought I was the only one.
I know, it's so
like,
good.
what?
No. They like sunrises better, dude.
Yeah.
It's not just that they like sunrises. They like sunrises better than sunsets. And that's why you don't get me. I'm just joking. I like them both.
Yeah, and this is also he talks about his dream of opening up his spot, the super stereo world, which
Yeah.
will be the rest of his arc really.
And then cut to Amber. I want to tell you how much I care about you. You're my little baby.
Yeah, she loves him.
And then she gives him coke and then fucks him.
And ruins his life kinda. Oh yeah, after he does the blow, you think I look cooler?
Yeah. He's so concerned about his image.
Yeah, it's really
It's
sad.
so important to him.
It's
how
endearing and sad and also dumb and funny at the same time.
It's great. It is great. You can. There's so much communicated about who he is through those things. He's so insecure, right?
Because of his mother.
He needs
man,
external validation all the time.
Yeah, because his mother was a piece of shit.
Yeah. Also, he's like, it burns. I want water. And she's like, no. You got to do another one first.
Yeah, other nostril.
I was like, Jesus, dude. This
Yeah.
lady's fucking
She's a problem.
wild.
Yeah.
She is a problem, dude. She is a problem.
Love her though. She's great.
Yeah, she's great. Great. Super complicated character. Very nuanced. And we fucking love that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, this is the whole scene of Jack. The guy comes to him wanting
Floyd.
Floyd comes to him wanting him to start using digital because it's so much cheaper.
This is PTA, getting his opinions out there,
I
man.
absolutely thought that
You
too.
he's like, fuck videotape, fuck digital.
But again, it's
film will always
he's
be the
also
way.
laughing at himself, right? Because it's porn and like how serious Jack takes this and the art of it, right? Like
No, yeah, it is funny for sure. But like, I feel like it is so funny, but there is a part of me that respects. Well, no, I respect it so much.
I respect it too, but
even though it's so silly.
It's so dumb, but I respect it too. Because I respect it because if you're gonna go all the way like Jack wants to go, then go all the way.
Absolutely. And I think what's great is that when you see the cuts, it looks so much worse later on.
Yeah.
When they do start using like videotape.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean film looks great.
Yeah, I mean,
Undeniable.
and he's right. Like, Floyd is right about the future because he even also says, because Jack says, "Are you telling me the future is videotape and amateurs?" Like, and he's like, "Nah, like I'm always gonna be about professionals and film," and that's what happened. That is what happened to the porn industry.
Yeah.
Became about that.
They sold out, man. They lost their soul.
It's fucked, man. Nobody shoots porn on 35 millimeter anymore, man. It's fucked. A big fucking film guy can't even get off these days. That'd be really funny if somebody started that as their gimmick, like, hey, check it out, we're a new porn website, but actually you sign up to get the 2 reels mailed to you, and then you set up your projector, and
I think we have an idea.
it's pretty good.
Scotty got a new car.
I do want to say, though, I like that he says to them that it's 10 minutes before New Year's, and I like to spend it with my friends, and then he walks out, like, implying, like, this conversation was so disrespectful, he's not even, like, thinking of them as his friends.
Oh, he's pissed. Yeah, he was definitely making a
I
statement.
fucking love it.
Yeah.
So catty.
Yeah, it really was. Oh yeah, so Scotty got a new car. He wants to show Eddie. I feel so bad for Scotty, man. I mean, he is kind of like weird about his affections toward him. He's very doesn't read Dirk at all, but
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, he just goes for that kiss. He's pretty aggressive about it too. But Dirk is really sweet about it. It's just like, no, it's okay, man. It's okay.
I remember Scotty, like, dying in the movie.
I kind of thought he might die too.
But he doesn't.
I was wondering if something happened to him, but no.
No, nothing happens.
No.
Which is cool.
Yeah, great for Scotty.
That's nice.
I like Scotty.
Because, Philip Seymour Hoffman died in real
Yeah,
life.
I wonder. That's what I was thinking. I wonder if it's like
really fucking sad.
yeah, psychological.
Mandela effect.
Yeah.
Hoffman effect.
Hoffman effect. They hug it out, and yeah, Scotty has this really sad moment of him just crying in his car.
Yeah, him trying to kiss him and stuff is like so rough, and then he's like, "I'm a fucking idiot," and I was like, I could so relate to that, dude.
Keep saying that over and over. It's really sad.
Not trying to forcefully kiss someone and then be like, "I'm such an idiot," but the like thing of like saying something and then just sitting there and be like, "Fuck," that aspect of the performance I could really connect with.
100%. Me too. Uh, yeah. Then Little Bill shows up.
This is, I think, my favorite one shot in the movie.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, the way
Yeah.
he like starts from outside, he walks
Yeah.
up with the sign that says goodbye 70s, hell, 80s.
Buck, the angel Buck gives him a drink too as he walks in.
There's also a lot of great compositional stuff here. Like he walks up first like he walks behind this thing that like obscures him from the camera. It's almost like what is he up to, right? And the camera passes like by a wall and we don't see him at all. And then he like walks past the camera through the door frame and then walks back into the frame.
Yeah, I can totally like since I knew what was gonna happen, I just like while I was watching this, the commentary in my head is him being like, if she's fucking someone right now, I'm going to kill them both and kill myself, and that he's just telling himself that over and over.
Yeah,
I think this was very premeditated. He's like this because he's
absolutely.
so dedicated.
No, it's so coldly done. I think what's interesting as well is I've always remembered the like loop, but for some reason at one moment there's this tension of when he opens the door, and I love we just see down the hallway looking at him in the door frame. He's like looking at them and we can kind of hear the noises. I thought for a second that he was going to shoot them right there, but I was like, no. The beautiful thing about this shot is that it keeps going.
Yeah.
He turns around, walks back out.
Yeah, this
walks
reminded me
to the car,
of Reservoir Dogs, and I was wondering if it was inspired by it.
gets the fucking gun, dude, and damn, dude. And the way he smiles right before he shoots himself is top tier fucking acting.
And it's
dude.
happening during the countdown.
Yeah, the way they synchronize is 5, 4,
Oh my
3,
god.
2.
Boom. Yeah.
So fucking good.
And it's such a perfect like boom, the good times are over. It's the 80s. and here's some murder suicide.
Yeah, it's great. He does coke for the first time, and like Little Bill, kills his wife and kills himself.
Yeah, brutal stuff.
Yeah. And then we get the title card 80s.
Yep.
And we get
80s.
this montage of there's some sort of documentary Amber is making about Dirk Diggler. Amber, whose full name is Amber Waves.
Oh, yeah, I
of
missed that.
Grain.
That's great.
Yeah, I think, and I was feeling this felt kind of like it might be a reference to. So, like I said, it's based off of a short he wrote and shot in high school called The Dirk Diggler Story, and that was inspired by this documentary called Exhausted: John C. Holmes, The Real Story? ? And I wonder if this is kind of like a riff on that a little bit.
Yeah, at first actually I couldn't remember what this was, and I was thinking this was a hit piece because they're talking about like violence against women and stuff, and both Reed and Dirk look so bad in it. I was like, oh no, like this is gonna tear the reputation apart. I'm like, and then I realized it was Amber's gift to him. I'm like, oh.
It's so fucking fun. I love when Dirk is talking about the blocking with Jack, right, and how he lets me block my own sex scenes. He's like, I don't let him do that. That's so fucking funny. And then he says, maybe you could cut that part out, later on.
Well,
but also now you can clearly tell he's doing a bunch of blow.
Yes.
Like the way he's talking and shit,
totally.
and the way I feel like actors like really get down though. Like there's something in the drip and the handling of the throat and the voice and the like he's doing this thing where he's like it almost seems like he's about to like throw up or something, or there's something going on in his throat. He does really well.
Interesting.
I was very impressed.
Good stuff. Yeah, there's some really funny lines in that little movie she made too of him being like, I've had people send me letters, and it's all these like shots of him just like looking out in the sunset and stuff, and it's just like, I've saved thousands of lives. And talking
marriages,
yeah, and he's like, I have a gift. Try not to be selfish about it.
Yeah. He's a good guy. I also love Reed talking about like, I know you can't fuck forever. I have other interests. I want to be like, and basically saying like, I want to be a magician one day. Which I think I didn't mention it earlier, but we see Reed doing a card trick at one point with Buck, and maybe it happens after this, but Buck says, oh wow, that's cool, but like, is it hard dealing with the evil forces? And Reed goes like, "What are you talking about? It's just a magic trick." And
Yeah, I
love
noticed that
I
too.
love it.
I
Like,
mean, it happened so quickly and in passing
yeah.
that I was just like, wait, what?
Oh, and it's not only her gift to Dirk; it's her poem to Dirk.
Oh, love that.
Because they even refer to Dirk, I think, as a poet, right, in the beginning of it.
That's right.
Oh my god, dude!
Brilliant. It's brilliant stuff. This next scene, I don't
This
think
is
there's anything funny about this
well,
next
the
part.
call too, like
Yeah.
it's in the middle, like they walk out watching it. The phone rings and he picks up, and it's the Colonel. And yeah, this is fucked, dude. Yeah, because you're like, okay, if I've seen the movie before, or like you're paying attention, you're like, yeah, these girls look young. And then you get the she was 15 going on 150 shit.
I guess the only thing comedic about it is just that it keeps getting worse. Like every sentence he's saying, it's like, yeah, she was 15. I didn't know she was 15. Yeah, I shouldn't have given her blow. Yeah, she OD. Like it just keeps getting worse.
Yeah. Yeah, but like it we've already seen that happen, right?
Yeah.
With him.
Yeah.
And then they don't have to man, I feel like if you've seen the movie, you know what happens here, and
Jack's reaction just like
says it all.
fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah. He says, "Hey, Jack, am I your friend?" And then we hear the line go dead, and we just see him mouthing it. And this performance, man,
Yeah,
this is
it's so
so
good.
fucking good.
It's really
I
good.
really love the Colonel James.
Yeah, the actor here, yeah.
Yeah, the portrayal is really great. I'm pulling it up right now. I'll find it eventually. But yeah, fuck, dude.
Awesome.
It's like it's so disgusting
Mhm.
and like heartbreaking all at the same fucking time, man?
Yeah, and
It's Robert Ridgely. That's his name.
yeah, he's really good in this scene. And yeah, it's such a I was really thinking about this moment and like this plot thread because it's such a small detail. It's important to the bad like part of the bad times happening, but I do think it's like an important critique on the porn industry because like there is in like sex trafficking and all the shit that goes around the stuff, and especially all the context we have now for celebrities with underage the Epstein stuff
for
and all
sure.
that.
It's not
like,
even just a porn industry thing. It's
Yeah.
just an entertainment industry thing
yeah,
in
just people with
general, right?
power thing probably.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
absolutely. It's so true. It's so disgusting. And it's really fucking tragic and all too fucking real.
But we do get a wedding next though.
Yeah, December 82.
Yeah. Scotty eating cake. Love to see it.
He does not seem to be doing well. The way that he like picks up this huge piece of cake and is
I don't know if
eating
I
it.
approve of his
Yeah.
approach, but
hey,
I approve of Scotty. So
Fair play, brother. Cake's out, And the way he kind of stares at the like bride and groom on the top of the cake, like poor guy.
Yeah, it is sad.
And this is when they're moving to Bakersfield.
Yeah, and just extremely intense red light here.
Yes, and this is a lot of lighting from underneath too.
Yeah, this is just very very. This is showing where our sweet Eddie, where his mind state is now, right? The red, the rage, the envy, the darkness, the ego.
Dude, Eddie's dead, bro. He's Dirk.
Yeah, he's Dirk now. Yeah, and he meets Johnny Doe, right? That was
Yeah.
his name.
That was his name. Which, can I say, there is an actor in this movie, the guy who plays Amber's husband. His name is actually John Doe. I looked in the script.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Isn't that insane?
That is insane. Wild. Yeah, and then I think it just cuts ahead, right? We're in 1983, and well, I guess there's more context to that scene. He kind of angrily leaves because he feels like he's being replaced by Johnny Doe.
Yeah, absolutely. He's jealous. Like we really see him upset and jealous. And so this is December 82, and we see Dirk leaving with Todd Parker, right? You know, seeing that
he's
bad
rolling
influence.
with Todd now, and we
and then
see.
this is the next shot. The next one is a month later in January of 1983.
Oh, okay, yeah, I wasn't paying attention to the months as much as the years.
They're doing Crystal.
Yeah, that's
and they're
not
being
good.
rude to Roller Girl.
Yeah,
Not chill. Again,
not chill.
This movie fucking moves, dude. Like
it really
I feel
does,
like
yeah.
the pacing of this is really great. Like
Yeah, it's really good. Yeah, I feel so bad for Roller Girl here. She just got like, "Hey, what's up, guys? Get the fuck out of here," or whatever they say.
Yeah.
What do you want?
yeah, he's just being mean.
Yeah.
And we see Dirk staring sort of longingly at Jack, but then we see his real focus is on Amber. talking to Johnny Doe, and you know, you can tell he's jealous. He doesn't love this, you know. And then him doing his warm up in the bathroom
Yep,
when
number
he's
3
high
karate.
as fuck. This is fuck, man. This is like really the fall of like a star right here, you know, dude.
Yeah.
You know, he's almost starts crying that he can't get hard.
Yeah, it's really
Something that he was so good. He was always so good about that, right? Like that's one of his talents, his endurance, you know, his reliability, you know. And it's like an athlete who like could always count on to put the ball in their hands in the last 30 seconds and make a play. And now he's coming up zilch, brother, you know?
He lost himself. That's what it
Yeah.
really represents, right?
I lost myself.
A little Radiohead for y'all.
Oh, hell yeah, dude. And when he pops out, dude, and he's like, I'm ready to shoot. It's got to be now.
Yeah, this is a really cringy scene.
Yeah.
Just so much anger from Dirk towards Jack, who's been nothing but good to him, really. I mean, besides, I guess you could ask if bringing him into the porn industry was good, but that's what he wanted.
It is what he wanted. He facilitated his goal.
Yeah, and I've seen him be nothing but fair with him. So, yeah, why you gotta be so mean to Jack? I love it. Yeah, it escalates. It gets very heated. It's about to go to blows. And at one point, he goes, "I know fucking karate."
Yeah, it's so fucking good. I love how the things I love that he says is, "My cock is ready. I want to fuck." And he also said, "I want to fuck. It's my big dick." He's basically like, this means nothing without me, which is another kind
Yeah.
of great little Pogus thing where like when they're at the center of a sort of group, you know, and they have brought so much. Maybe they bring so much talent or they have brought so much renown to this producer. Like you can see where he's kind of coming from, but of course it's so twisted and amplified and corrupted by his mind state and being like high as fuck and not just high on drugs, but high on himself, dude, sniffing his own shit, you know?
Right. Well, it's high on himself while being deeply insecure, because
Yeah.
that's the core of it, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
The core of it is that he
A bit of a Daniel Plainview.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that. Yeah, he'll never feel fully validated. And so this is his validation, and the fact that he's feeling it slip from him is why he gets so angry here.
He's having a bit of a Zissou moment,
Yeah,
you know?
he is. But he gets fired here. Yeah.
Yeah, and I love that Reed is like, I'm going to go straighten Dirk out. And then we cut to Sound City Recording Studio, March 1983. You got the touch.
Dude, they're fucking.
This is in the original short. In the 30-minute short, there's a part where
really?
it shows him like recording a song, yeah.
Let's see if I remember. There was one melody I did like. Feel my heat.
Yeah, that's later on. That's
That's
'cause,
pretty
yeah,
good.
it's good, dude, yeah. Oh, that's what I was going to say for the cold open.
Yeah.
But because it's pretty good. But yeah, I love that. And I love he's playing the Gibson Flying V, very early 80s sort of guitar. And I like that you can tell John C. Reilly's actually playing that
Yeah,
riff on
because
the
he's a
guitar.
really talented musician. Like he fucking kills it.
Yeah, I mean...
No, I mean he's like a singer. Like
Yeah, for sure. But like the riff is a little, you know, it's not supposed to be great either.
no,
you know?
but it's. Yeah, I mean
He's also doing it sloppily as they sing. Like it's really well done, I think.
well, that's what I mean. He's like tearing it up on the guitar as an actor while like doing the rest of the acting stuff without really thinking about it. Like good shit.
You think he's tearing it up on the guitar in that scene?
Yeah, I mean it's a cool riff.
It's a cool riff. I think he plays it kind of like, it seems like two high dudes like playing you a song that they wrote at a party.
I'm into it.
You're very kind.
No, I mean the vocals are terrible. Like he can't sing for
Yeah,
shit.
I'm saying the riff is a little pedestrian as well.
Yeah, I mean it's not amazing.
No, not at all. If you want to hear amazing riffs, check out my band Laminate. But yeah, I also love the interaction with Nick the engineer, who is the composer again. And it's the whole, you think the bass is taken away from the vocal? No, I think it. I love how this is the guy who's not in this movie. He's so like level-headed, and he's like, no, I think it's perfectly balanced, but I mean, if you feel that way. And like John C. Reilly behind him is just like telling him like, no, the bass is taken away from the vocal.
Man, I always wonder with stuff like this, like no one, like they can't tell he's out of key when listening back to it. Like I know you can't tell when you're out of key when you're singing, but like you could tell this sucks when you listen back to it.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? You know, like the ego is a lot, right?
Yep.
And also they're high as fuck.
That's true too. Oh yeah, we get a.
And I just want to say at the end of the feel my heat. Then he asks him to Nick. He says, "Were we rolling on the rehearsal?" I just love it, dude. Just like two guys out of their mind on coke, like set free in a fucking studio.
They're so delusional.
And I love how they don't, like, later on it's revealed they don't have the money to pay for
Exactly.
this.
That's what I was about to
obviously.
say. They have no like. They think they're just immediately gonna be rock stars, and that's gonna cover this. They're so fucking dumb, dude. I mean, they're so like
Yeah.
cartoonishly dumb.
This movie has a lot of good montages. I love how there's the good times montage. Now we're gonna get the bad times montage.
Yeah, this is a great sequence.
I love the girl says, "Is he gonna fuck me in the ass?" And Jack, you can tell he's so over it now. He's like,
Yeah.
"Is that what you want?" And she goes, "It would be nice." And he's like, "Okay."
This is
And
this.
he's like, you lost all his passion, you know?
Yeah, is this when he walks to the back and he's like, "How is it?" And it's just like a close up on Johnny Doe's face while he's getting head, and he's like,
No, I think
"This is
that's
this."
I think that's later.
Like, who shoots a porn like that?
Yeah, that's later on. I think it might be in the same montage, but yeah. And we see that Kurt is using a video camera now, and Floyd is there as well. And then we get the scenes as well of Amber and Roller Girl having a very typical cocaine sesh, you know, where they talk about, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that,
And
I'm
how
gonna
much
get my
they love
GED.
each other.
Yeah, and like, I'm gonna call you mom. Can I call you mom?
Yeah, that part's really sad and also hilarious.
Yeah.
Again, every time it comes to that mom stuff, because that's also really, that's like one of the most humanizing moments for
Yeah,
Roller Girl,
absolutely.
right? Yeah, like she don't really know why she's here. She doesn't, you know. It's very clear what her relationship with with her mom at that point.
For sure. I also I think it's funny the scene with the two women in the hot tub. Like, we haven't seen any porn actors that look like that yet.
Yeah,
It feels like a big change, like, to the 80s.
amateurs.
And we see Kurt is like, I don't know about amateurs necessarily, but we do see Kurt like directing them too, and like Jack's not even there, kind of showing him like being less in control, and maybe they're just like shooting a shit ton of tape and, you know, throwing whatever out there, seeing what works. And we also get fucking Johnny Doe's new character, Rock Harders. And this is where I had to know that the videotape looks way worse. You could just like look so bad compared to the film. The film is so classy.
I'm with you.
And then the like escalation of their drug addiction, you know. At first they're excited when Todd gets back, and later on like they're like desperate, like, where have you been, you know?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We also get Buck trying to get a loan.
Yes,
During that whole sequence.
absolutely, yeah. Buck and Jesse together trying to get a loan, and you can see like the dude sort of looking around, and it will culminate in him refusing the loan because he's an adult film actor.
I just noticed I have the quote from Roller Girl here where she says, "Are you my mom?" And then before she answers, she says, "I'll ask you and you say yes."
Yeah, I know, it's fucking
so
funny.
sad and sweet and funny.
That's in the same part where Amber says, "I miss my two little boys," talking about her actual son and
Yeah.
Dirk.
Oh.
Wild.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, it's fucking wild.
Oh yeah, and this is the part where it's revealed they don't have the money for the studio.
Yeah.
And Reed says to him, like, "You guys may own that, but our heart and soul we put on that tape is ours."
Yeah. And I love their whole like their rationale. No, you give us the tape, we go get the money from the record label, then we pay you.
Yeah, so
And
fucking
and the guy's just like, that sounds like a YP, not an MP. And then Reed's like, I don't know all this industry jargon. YP, MP.
Yeah, I think Reed says, "You're making us look like idiots right now," and then the guy's just like, "Yeah."
Yeah, and then I'm thinking about kicking some fucking ass, is what fucking Dirk says at one point. I love how this is becoming more of a thing where he's like, I'm gonna fucking fight you. Which feels like such a Mark Wahlberg role thing to be like, I'm gonna fucking fight you.
Is Mac's character from Always Sunny in Philadelphia based on this guy? Because there are a lot of parallels, I'm realizing.
I feel like this guy is like a meme. Like,
Yeah, for sure.
this guy exists, you know. This guy is like a Jungian archetype for white men, you know.
For toxic masculinity, I guess.
I love another part with Amber and Roller Girl where she says, "Too many things, let's go on a walk," and Roller Girl says, "I don't want to leave this room." And she says, "Me neither." I love you, Mom. It's insane, dude.
It is insane. Good stuff. Not good stuff, but gets declined.
They're not being fair.
Because he's a pornographer.
He's an actor.
He's an actor. Yeah, does he try to bribe him here? I wasn't quite sure if that's what he was implying, or if he was just like saying some stupid shit. Because he was like I can write down anything you want on these forms, and I was like, is he trying to say like I can?
I think he's desperate.
Yeah, so it wasn't.
I think he's desperate
because he seems a little too pure and innocent to try to bribe him.
I think he wouldn't have even thought of it.
Yeah,
right?
me
Like,
too.
yeah.
Yeah. It's sad, and like while I do kind of side with the sadly with the arbitration against Amber and her custody stuff. I feel like to not give someone a loan just because they were in porn, like,
yeah, it should be based on their business plan. And if you're smart, you would think of that as a bonus potentially. But again, I think it is this sort of like,
yeah, it's just,
I think these days in business, like at a bank, somebody might think of that as like a bonus. Whereas like, I think there's still like back then there was definitely a lot of that sort of like puritanical aspect, in America. Like we don't want to be associated with someone who like, does sex for money, right?
yeah.
And the next part is where we get Jack sort of like walking through. We see all the tapes.
Oh yeah,
Kurt's watching the tape. Yeah, and we see just that shot of fucking Johnny Doe's face. And he asks him, "How is it?" And he says, "It is what it is." And the magic
when
is
you
like
just film his face.
the magic is so clearly gone.
Yeah.
But he's not just asking about the one shot. Dude.
I know, but what is that shot?
It's a close up.
It's the whole scene.
The ladies
just sitting on it.
Ladies love a close up of the vinegar strokes.
Oh wow.
Speaking of arbitration,
yeah, is this
this
it
one?
is,
What it says Tuesday morning,
1983.
September 1983.
Yeah.
She shows up without a lawyer.
Yeah, first big mistake. As soon as the other lawyer like started pointing out things, I've been watching too much Better Call Saul to be like, oh, you need a lawyer.
I wondered why she didn't have a lawyer. Like that seemed interesting.
I just take it as her not knowing how to do stuff like this, and just I think her life's too out of control basically for her to think that far ahead.
I would think the business that she's in, she would know lawyers, right? Like, I mean, I don't want to sit here and pick it apart, but it's just like such an interesting choice because, I mean, there's still money flowing. They're still making money. Jack's still making money. They're still living together. Like there's questions there, but maybe she just really doesn't want anyone to be aware of that part of her life at all, to the point that everyone she knows is now in this circle, and she doesn't want anyone of that sort to be involved.
Yeah, that's an interesting question. I definitely took it more just as that she just is kind of naive and unprepared in that way.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, she only has seen him twice, the visitation rights. I mean, you could tell that the arbitrator's like pretty much on her side until she finds out that she's in the porn industry.
Well, and also she's been arrested before.
Yeah.
That's like, she does ask her about that.
I think that was the final question, and it cuts to her crying.
Yeah, which is really well done. I love that. We don't need to see her getting denied, right? Like, the performance can carry it, and God, dude, it's fucking heartbreaking.
It really is. Yeah, it's really sad. And it's like, it's so it's so powerful narratively because, like I said, it's like, I totally, like, I'm not 100% saying she shouldn't have visitation rights, but like, she's a fucking mess, dude. And like, do you want to, like, I don't know how old the kid is.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, the fact that she's an adult film actress, like, that is something that I think you can set aside and debate everything else, because she's not responsible.
Yeah.
And like, there are lots of people doing all sorts of drugs around the house, and like, I mean, we see a scene where there's a party and there are people fucking just in the backyard.
And I believe her when she says that her son was never around when that stuff was going on. So like,
I believe her for sure.
I just don't believe her being able to handle, like, I think just things, she has a bad day, things spiral out of control, and then like, I don't know.
I mean, I still think that she should be able to see her kid for sure, right? Maybe just like while the dad is still there, or like at the like dad's house, like I mean, I don't know, man. Like there's so much to it, right? But
Yeah.
I think I
Yeah,
totally
then there's the kid's perspective of like, is
Yeah.
it more damaging to like only be able to see her?
Yeah.
So like,
I totally agree with you that it is further heartbreaking because it is that realness of like, yeah, like I kind of like did this to myself,
like I'm in her shoes, being like, I want you to have this, but I'm also not in her shoes of like, I don't think you should have this.
yeah, yeah, and it feels appropriate. It works. It works really well.
Yeah.
And then we have a setup of a really cool intercut scene that's really fucked up in several ways.
This part is always just like
Yeah,
when I
it's
think
super
about this
unsettling,
movie,
yeah.
I just like feel this big dark pit in my heart, and it's around this whole section.
Yeah, this is the most reminiscent of Basketball Diaries, I would say. I think because
Interesting.
not the part with Roller Girl, the part with
Dirk.
and the
The pickup.
waiting for someone, and this guy is credited as Surfer Punk in the credits.
I gotta say, I find this whole plan very far fetched here. That like the plan was to pick him up, bring him to a parking lot, and then jump him. But it's like the guy was into it, right? Like it was clearly, and it took such a long time.
I think
Like he's watching him do it for so long.
Well, I think there's several things at play here. I think they are supposed to be some like homophobic
Yeah.
like group of people, and I think that is they're gonna go and look for male prostitutes that they can pick up,
Yeah.
male sex workers that they can look for and pick up, and then like bring somewhere to beat the shit out of them. I do think that you are catching on to something else, which is like, yeah, I think we're supposed to think like
Is he
was
closet?
into it. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I mean that's a thing that's brought up a lot. And look, I don't want to point fingers any which way, but it's something that you definitely see turn up. You see people who like have homophobic policies, and then suddenly there's a scandal about them having sex with other men. Like
Yeah.
it's definitely not uncommon.
Well, yeah, I definitely think he's into it. I also think the logistics of it.
Also, he has an amazing cock, dude. Who's not into it, I think that's part of it. He's in the presence of greatness. Even though he can't get it hard,
Yeah.
It's like the light is like,
It just flickers.
Yeah. Which feels very clear obscure.
Love that
Lumina,
game.
Chroma.
Love that game. Yeah, it just like the arrival of them, like I don't know. It felt a little weird to me. This like
You're saying it felt contrived.
a little, yeah.
Like the scene, not their plan.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I know what you mean. But it works to like, I feel like we have to think about efficiency of time with the scene, and it works in that context for me.
Sure.
And then there is the shit with Roller Girl. This is a thing that that exists, people driving around trying to pick people up, quote unquote, right? And but Jack Horner, I love how we're setting it up. Jack Horner, this is the guy who invented this.
We're making film history.
Yeah.
Yeah. All of that, it's extremely fucking dark too, man.
Yeah,
oh
like
my god.
like two people just get the shit beat out of them. And it is the guy who she went to high school with.
Yeah.
He's being hella disrespectful.
Oh, it is $20 this time for Dirk.
It is, yeah.
So
it
he
is.
bumped it up, but that's also like almost more sad that it's like it's not the same prices. Like he now values himself $10 more.
Yeah.
It's sad.
Well, twice as much.
Twice as much. He's twice as valuable to
Because
himself.
20 or 10,
Yeah.
And the guy just saying, maybe later I'll join in. Also, like, he doesn't get hurt, so maybe
that's right, yeah.
maybe he's not gay. Maybe he shouldn't have beat the shit out of him. But he can't get hard because he's like,
Yeah,
he has a drug problem.
The whole thing is a little confused to me, but it's still like effective story. Like it's still powerful,
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's so wild that she runs into the same guy from her high school. I think that was really fun to like style him so differently in the movie that it is kind of hard to tell it is him. But
this is the only time we get her like actual birth name too.
Brandy,
Yeah, and it really did feel like a dead name moment where I'm like, oh, that's not her. Like she is Roller Girl.
Yeah, the way she looked at him,
and she's
dude.
Roller Girl in the credits too. Like
Yeah.
she's not Brandy.
Fuck, dude. And yeah, he's being disrespectful, and you hear Jack like, "Hey, this is Roller Girl." Like,
Yeah, show some respect for
show
Roller
some
Girl.
fucking respect. First of all, respect everyone,
Yeah.
and respect fucking women,
Yeah.
and above all that, this is Roller Girl, dude. She's a fucking legend.
It's Roller Girl.
The skates stay on, motherfucker.
Yeah, and so
And
he gets kicked out.
Yeah, they kick him out.
Your film sucks now anyway, he tells him. That's the final straw for Jack. Too much disrespect. And he just starts beating
And we get the intercut of
shit
him
out of him.
beating the shit out of him. Dirk getting the shit beat out of him.
Yeah, it's very dark. I totally forgot that Roller Girl, like, I just wrote down here, Roller Girl kills a guy because she fucking curb stomps him like 5 times. I don't know. I don't know if that guy was gonna be okay.
That's not a curb stomp.
Do you have to have your mouth on the curb? Okay, well, she
stomps on his head.
She stomps on his head like 5 times with rollerblades. Like,
yeah, he's still moving when they leave.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know. I don't know if that guy's conscious or
alive. I think they might have killed someone.
Yeah.
Either that or severely impacted his day-to-day existence after that fact.
Yeah, whatever. Fuck that guy.
He also calls him Donkey Dick. And they take his money, dude.
I think I was writing down that.
Donkey Dick. And Roller Girl, what she's saying the whole time is, you don't ever disrespect me.
Yeah.
And
well, this, again, one of those more humanizing moments for her. Where, you really see all of her insecurities coming out when she's more of a joke through a lot of the movie.
What's really cool about this is you see the trucks leave beating the shit out of Dirk. You see fucking Jack's car pass another way, and then you see another car come into frame, and this is Buck and Jesse.
Going to get
this
donuts.
Was such a cool transition.
Yeah, that's a good call out there.
I love this scene too, man.
Yeah, dude, the shot of him coming in like through the donut case, like, it's such a simple thing.
Leading him through, and he's like picking them out, and we're looking at him through the donut case.
I love
and
that.
the way he's so pure, and you made these for Christmas? Like, and he wants to get
so sweet.
Yeah, dude, like, it's fucking great. I love his enthusiasm.
Yeah.
We also see Jessie is pregnant now, you know?
Yeah. And so there's a lot on the line here for this scene. I just remember seeing this for the first time, just like, what the fuck?
Like,
It's
why?
so random. Such an interesting random scene for just like, but it like ends up being his saving grace, right? Where the 3 people end up dead around him, but the money is still right there. So he just takes the money. There's his loan.
I also just love how it's like there's a guy coming in to steal it. We see the guy in there is reading like a hunting magazine, and then you see the look in his eye where he's like, "This is my chance to be a good guy with a gun," you know, like.
Yeah.
And then like I love how fucking Buck is like, "No, don't do it," and then like fucking Rube Goldberg machine of violence of Hunter shoots Robber, Robber stumbles, shoots Hunter, Hunter then shoots Cashier
as he dies.
Insane.
Yeah, all happens within like 2 seconds. It very much reminded me of Tarantino stuff as well.
And the close up of the fucking like hundreds, he can see there's $100 bills in the brown paper bag, and he grabs it and just.
There you go. Yeah, it's so weird because it seems like the main message of that scene is, why pulling a gun on someone in that instance is actually a bad idea, because like nobody was gonna get hurt. 99% chance nobody was going to get hurt if you didn't pull your gun on him.
Yeah.
But it's like such a random statement to make in the middle of this movie, you know?
Yeah.
But it's also like a great scene, and I love that he gets money for it. I don't know. It's just so weird.
Chaos of life.
Yeah. Very random. And speaking of random, the whole title card, Long Way Down, One Last Thing.
Wow. We got a king of segues over here, brother.
Yeah, just the whole movie, there's no title cards, really. I mean, we get years, right? It'll say like 1983 or like the 80s or something. Well,
we get the like September Tuesday morning. We get Tuesday morning for the September one. And we also get the record studio one, right? Which is funny because it's obvious, right?
Yeah, but it just says the year always. It's not like a name of a chapter or something.
No.
And so like, it's so strange to just be like, okay, yeah, here's the final chapter, by the way.
I kind of love it.
I think it's a weird choice. I wouldn't say I dislike it or like it, really. I'm just like, huh, okay.
I like it because of the way it's presented, what happens, and what it says.
Yeah.
Like, I like it because Long Way Down, One Last Thing kind of sounds like the name of a song. or some, right?
I mean, yeah, it's artsy. It just
And
feels so out of nowhere.
yeah. But it like I guess I also like that of it, like that it is this like here we go.
Why not just throw a chapter name in here? Like I think it's funny to like what if you made a movie and the whole movie no title cards and then it's just like Act 3 title card. You're like, wait, what? That's what it reminds me of. Anyway, oh yeah, I was talking about the circular shots here. I mean, I don't know if Tarantino invented this. I think he probably took it from some other classic movie because he kind of takes all of his stuff from like little pieces of things. But the circular table shot here, I always love these shots so much. Just going around the table between Todd Reed and Dirk here looks so cool. It's such a good way to do.
They're planning a heist.
Yeah, and it something about the shot just feels so tense and like you know, I don't know.
It's the heist shot.
Yeah, it's great. It's great.
Yeah, it's sick.
Momentum, I guess.
It's exciting, yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, I feel like this movie really moves. I don't feel like you feel the
No,
the 2.5 hours.
It did not
that
feel
it
like
is.
2.5 hours. No. They're doing a bunk drug deal. This is a terrible plan.
I
from the
do love the
start.
questions that fucking Reed asks where he says, "Do you have his phone number?" And Todd goes, "Yeah." And then later on he goes, "Do you have his address?" He's like, "Yeah." What's with all the fucking questions, Reed? Like,
Just very simple
and
stuff.
they're like, "What if he tests this stuff?" And he's like, "He won't," because their plan is they're gonna take a bunch of baking soda, put it in a bag, and sell it as half a key of cocaine for $5,000.
Yeah. Terrible plan. I mean, people do this shit all the time, but it's so fucking stupid.
What is the movie where their plan is the sample point? They will put real coke in it. So like when you stab a key into it to test it. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I don't think so.
That's in a movie. There's a movie where they do this, and I was like, is this movie? But they don't end up doing that,
Okay.
which I love. Scotty tells them they should be careful. They're like,
Yeah.
shut up, Scotty.
Yeah, they're so mean now.
And then you get the cool sort of insert shots. I feel like these help kind of pick up the pace in some of these stories.
Do we
Very
see here
cool.
that Todd brought a gun too?
No, not yet.
Okay.
We see him packing the baking packing the baking soda into the bag. And there's fun shots there. But then we see them, all three of them roll up in the
Okay.
Corvette, which is fucking hilarious. I love that. They're all like squished in there.
Yeah.
You can really see the fall from grace.
Yeah.
And I love how he says, "What is that, Todd?" And he says, "It's a big fucking gun."
Todd's an idiot. And
Todd's fucking great.
yeah, he is great, but he's
Yeah,
wow.
yeah, he's an idiot. Yeah.
What a plan.
He represents like the darkest side of their trajectory, right?
right, which is like he's as dumb as them, but what if you were
But even more dangerous.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, what if you were as dangerous and dumb?
Yeah.
So the fireworks,
The
Cosmo with
firecrackers,
the
yeah.
firecrackers in here, man.
Yeah.
Oh my god, because before we got to this scene, I'm like, oh, I remember this being extremely tense scene. I can't remember exactly how it goes down, and as soon as it goes in there with the firecrackers going off,
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh my god.
The way they all like jump
yeah,
every
I'm
time one
jumping.
goes off.
It's so I know
When
where
he
it's
points the gun to himself and does the Russian roulette thing,
yeah,
but he like the firecracker goes off right before he pulls the trigger.
yeah,
It's a great random thing that feels like 80s like drug house
yeah,
like hijinks, I guess.
yeah. And I love what's this guy's name?
His name is Rahad.
Rahad.
Yeah, Rahad Jackson.
I love the mystique around Rahad.
Who is this guy?
Yeah, because he's not a drug dealer. What does this guy do?
Yeah.
What? Who is this boy? This who's throwing firecrackers at his house? It's just
He's Cosmo.
I know, but like, what? There's so many questions here.
And then he's got Tyrone, and I love how we see the tension is sort of ratcheted up with the firecrackers, and we see the shot of them looking at Tyrone, seeing him pull the baking soda out of the bag.
Yeah.
And also when he grabbed the
Great.
bag, we see the gun in his jacket, right?
Great tense sequence.
And they're just thinking, we need to go. Also, this is Alfred Molina, who, if you don't know, his full name is Alfredo, like me. But
he's so good.
But he was born in England, and he decided to anglicize his name because he didn't want to suffer the fucking derision and the fucking mockery that I had my whole life over my great, strong name.
It's a yummy name. I love it.
When you meet me, please don't comment on how my name is food, please. Thank you. And you also preferred to refrain from calling my name yummy. Unless we're in a maybe like romantic relationship, then maybe I'll allow it.
Noted, good sir. Uh, yeah, Todd is not doing well here. I was trying to get into psychology here. Like, what's going on, man? Why are you so committed to this? Why are you?
He's got a bigger plan at play too.
Yeah, is it like
The way he stumbles over telling him $5,000 too, like he's
Yeah.
so freaked out.
Yeah, no, he's so fucking nervous, but he's so committed, and I think it's like we've talked about it a couple times. And I wasn't really thinking about while watching it, just how good this movie is at, just suggesting these really complex backstories. But like there's a
Yeah.
lot going on with Todd here, but I
Maybe
have no
he
idea
has
what it
some
is.
sort of history with Rahad, right? Where he like, but also maybe it's just like another American hustling, for a piece of the pie.
I take him as super high, extremely desperate. Like he must be extremely desperate because he's so nervous, but he's so willing to go through with this. Or is it some ego thing? Like I don't know, man. He doesn't want to think of himself as someone who would run away from something like this. Like he doesn't want to be a coward.
I think the like best part of all this is when he's talking about how he makes the mixtapes, because like bands, they put them in whatever order they want. He doesn't want to be told what order to listen to the music in. And then Sister Christian is playing, and it's like the build up to the motorin, and just him, dude. I am so completely like
he's amazing,
enraptured by like his performance here. It's so fucking good, and the firecrackers going off, and I love how like the tape suddenly fucking ends.
Yeah. I mean, it just the.
And then you're like, oh shit, what's gonna happen now? Like everything is so tense. Like
everything is so tense. Yeah.
You can cut the tension with a fucking knife in this scene. Really well done.
It's so well done, and it's
so many different aspects adding to the tension. The firecrackers,
right.
Just the performances.
It's so strange because between this and the donut scene, it almost feels like, well, we need some big climax to this story. And then they just pull out some amazing stuff, but it's just so like shoved in there, but it totally just fits, right?
Yeah.
Like nothing has really been building to this other than the fall, like the collapse of their lives.
This is really the like, I feel like part of it is really sort of the wake up call. Like it has to be so dramatic, right? To like shake Reed and Dirk out of this whole thing.
Right.
I think it's so funny that he's like smoking. I don't know if it's crack or like meth or something. He's like, you guys want to play baseball? Which is so fucking funny to me.
Yeah, his performance of Jesse's girl too, where he's just just like so into it, dude. He's like shaking with how excited he is for the chorus of Jesse's girl. I love it.
And then fucking Todd goes for it, pulls his gun out, starts talking about the master bedroom and the safe in the
really
master
quick,
bedroom.
Right before that, I think there's an important shot of Eddie, and it sits on him a really long time here.
Oh yes, and he's like, and there's no dialogue.
Yeah.
There's dialogue going on, but there's no sound. It's just completely silent.
To me, this
him.
is his apotheosis.
Yeah, for sure.
It's his moment of, what the fuck am I doing? Why am I here? How did I get into this situation? If I get out of this alive, I'm going to change everything.
Yeah, it's just a close up of him, and all the sound comes back when he stands up and he says, "We've got to go."
Yeah,
and then that's when Todd pulls his scheme, and he's like, "No, I want more. This $5,000 is not enough, right?" And he like catches Tyrone too. He tells him not to reach for his gun, but then fucking Rahad shoots him in the fucking shoulder. He shoots Tyrone. Fucking Rahad runs off. Todd chases after him, and like I also love the way that they fucking end up behind the bar when all the shooting happens, and then they're yelling over the bar at Todd like, "Come on, dude, let's just go, man!" They're so fucking funny. Dude.
As stupid and insane as Todd is, I do gotta throw some just like badassery on his name.
He's insane
because he takes a bullet. Doesn't really phase him, kills the bodyguard, ready to continue on with the plan, like out of his mind, but like, damn, dude. I mean, at least you're like putting your money where your mouth is,
Yeah, this whole sequence is so much fun. The way that then he gets shot by the shotgun and they're chased out by Rahad, and they try to get in the car.
Yes, the
and it
car
starts
escape.
rolling downhill.
Oh, love this.
And then Reed has to run off because he can't make it into the car. And
yeah,
fucking Dirk starts it while it's rolling downhill.
And the shotgun is blasting up his car and just
the whole
taking
time.
out all the windows. I love that sequence. It made me was like, have I never seen this happen before? Where a car wouldn't start and they had to roll it downhill to start it while they're getting shot at.
Because he can't get in it quite soon, so and then he jumps in it as it's rolling. Because I think he gets hit by the shotgun, which disengages the emergency brake or something. I don't know.
I don't know what happened there,
but it's great. It's a fun little sequence,
Yeah, and it just it's one of those things that feels like I've seen this before, but I don't think I have.
Also, the added touch, the little cherry on top, that he has no gas because he has no money.
Yeah,
and that's why he's doing this. Right?
That's a good point. I was thinking maybe the gas can got shot or something, but they probably would have shown that.
Yeah, I figured it was just like, fuck, my luck. And then we see him pushing his car.
Yep, into the morning. He was pushing all night, apparently.
This is like his fucking...
rock bottom.
Yeah. All is lost.
And he goes back to Jack. And the scene's sweet.
Yeah, could you please help me?
He's so broken and vulnerable here.
So meek.
All of the humor, all of the jokiness is out of his character here. This is just a really genuine moment between him and Jack.
Yeah, he's sorry and he wants help.
Yeah, and I love that. And they hug it out. It's very sweet.
It's very sweet when they hug. It's good. And Jack also says sorry.
Yeah, which, again, it's like, like I was like, is this guy as awesome as I remember in the whole movie? I'm like, yeah, he's pretty awesome.
And then it's like he's back with his parents. He's like laying on Amber's lap as she like strokes his hair.
This was one of the most emotional scenes for me, and that's what I wrote a heart next to that line of him being comforted by her, and that's when I wrote Traveling Circus at the top of it, because I was like, oh yeah, these are all the people that just can't find a family, and now they've made their own family.
Yeah, porno fam.
A porno fam, and it's really fucking sweet, man. I thought it was really touching, because the last scene we saw of her, I think, was her not being able to be with her son anymore.
Yeah, absolutely.
And now we have our main character crying in her lap, and as she comforts him.
The crew's kind of getting back together.
Yeah.
And they got new things going on. And we get another montage of like, now the good times are back in a different way.
This is amazing sequence here. I think it's so good because, like I said, they've set up so many characters, so many threads, and they just like...
It starts with a J cut too. I don't know if you noticed that.
Oh, I didn't. But yeah, just perfect cherry on top. Do you want to explain what a J cut is for
it's
people?
When the sound of the next scene starts in the previous scene. So the example is he's laying on her lap, as I think like Jack brings Amber a glass of water, and then we start hearing Kurt saying some sort of like camera type shit, like, roll speed, whatever, and then it cuts to Buck doing his sort of commercial for his new business.
Yeah.
Which is the start of the montage. And we see that Amber is directing, and they're dressed like B-boys.
Yeah.
It's the early 80s.
Yeah, and it felt like the whole movie Buck couldn't really find what he like. It was interesting with Buck, right? Because I'm not sure if he was just being himself and everyone else is wrong that he's trying to be a cowboy, or if he really was struggling to find himself, and then this is affirmation that he found himself, or it's just like, hey, here's his business at the end.
Well, I mean, we see more of it, which is like that he's got like a family and shit, like
right. But in terms of finding his look, I was thinking specifically of that arc of him, like, cowboy phase. And
I think maybe it is about him finding his place in this world, right?
Yeah.
And I think he ultimately does. We see Roller Girl is taking the GED as well.
Yep, she's in school.
The Colonel is getting the shit beat out of him in jail.
Yeah, which I was just like, yeah, fuck you.
Which
is dark, really dark. But
we see Maurice with his brothers. They've opened the Rodriguez Brothers nightclub.
Oh no, it was supposed to be a G.
Reed is a stage magician, but there's a little sexiness because she's topless.
She's topless coming out of that box. I love it.
Feels like something that definitely exists in Las Vegas.
Totally. Oh, absolutely. Buck has the baby. Scotty's filming.
Yeah,
it's so cute.
And it's a boy.
Yeah, it's so cute. I say Buck, Jesse, right? Jesse's his wife.
Yes. And then we get another cool, awesome one shot that starts with Jack talking to Rocky, Scotty, and Kurt who are unloading the truck, and then he like walks through the house. We see Maurice is
Yeah.
cooking.
Oh yeah, and they have the painting of a little Bill on the wall in
Yeah,
there. That
yeah.
was really cute. I don't think I noticed that the first time. Yeah, I wrote down here big, happy, dysfunctional family, oh yeah, Buck is trying to sell him on the upgrade for his stereo system, not because he's trying to sell it, but it's just because he's like, no, you should get this extra thing so it'll
Yeah.
bump, and he's like, no, I want mellow.
Yeah, he
And
doesn't
this-
want it to be too
And
loud.
so Jack has his arc here too, right,
Yeah.
where he was looking for glory and greatness, and now no, he just wants to like, live life and relax.
Yeah,
And I love
he's
that.
found his lane and he's happy in it.
Yes, it's so sad. It's such a good sequence of things.
So after the commemorative painting of Little Bill that we see, there is this music that is reminiscent of the very beginning with the contemplative sort of melancholy horns.
Yeah.
And I also love as well, because then the like whole production design really did a good job of capturing the like transition and evolution of culture over those like 6-ish years,
Yeah.
It's very cool because then we cut to Dirk rehearsing his lines in the
Oh,
mirror, and he looks
real
very...
quick, before that.
Okay, can I just finish saying the one thing I was going to say?
Nope. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, like, the very, like, very present, very obvious, like, in, like, Dirk's look, like, when he's rehearsing, very, like, 1980s, sort of, like, blazer and, like, hair. The hair is definitely shorter. We see all of that, and it's cool how the movie
Yeah.
displays that throughout.
I mean, he's so, attention detailed. We talk about that with There Will Be Blood, just like the transition of using rolled cigarettes versus filtered cigarettes from a pack and stuff, and like, showing that little progression very subtly
he
and
smokes
quiet.
from a pipe and then
it
starts
was a
smoking
pipe,
cigarettes.
That's right, we get before we cut to Dirk, we get that final scene with Amber, and I thought this was really powerful because you get, Jack tells her she's the foxiest bitch in the world or something along those lines. It's a great moment. She's the one who has the least amount of catharsis, but it's just like a very subtle, great acting moment of her looking in the mirror and like you see her finding some peace with who she is.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's just like a perfect little bow for that character arc, because she's not setting herself up for the life where she can be a mother to her son, but she is the mother of this weird family she's made.
Yeah, exactly. It is good. Like I also, and then her look as well. She has like more of like an 80s sort of like early 80s sort of hairstyle as well.
Good point.
What a like prolific career for her though,
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean,
I guess for all of them at this point.
Yeah,
but she was like the most established one.
Oh really?
Well, that's what it felt like when they all started,
Yeah, totally.
Or when the movie starts, I guess.
Yeah. In part. So the final scene we get is him again in front of the mirror.
I really liked how the lines that he's rehearsing, like he's saying, like, I went away and now I've come back.
Oh,
like it's like a whole sort of like metaphor.
I didn't notice that.
There's like this symbolism in the things he's saying.
I love that.
About what has happened to him as like a journey.
All I wrote down is where the fuck is Gringo? Because I was like, only this movie could pull off like him reading the cheesiest shit to himself in the mirror is like heartwarming and is like a full story.
Yeah. Where the fuck is Ringo? Probably in an octopus's garden, dude.
And then we got the famous prosthetic dick shot.
Yeah.
He says, "I am a star."
And it is like very like nice.
Yep.
We got to see it.
And then we get our fourth karate move with a
It's also a very casual framing of the dick, which I kind of felt like the message was
just a dick.
Yeah, the magic is in him.
Wow. That's a good read.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. Well, that's Boogie Nights, Alfredo.
That's Boogie Nights.
And I boogied with that night watching this movie because this movie fucking is awesome.
Yeah. How awesome would you say?
Yeah, it's one I was like hovering on like A tier, S tier. But usually when I'm hesitating, I go A tier, and I think this is definitely S tier worthy. But overall doesn't resonate with me as much as some of my like favorites of all time. But I do think it's like amazing and like extremely entertaining and perfectly like executed.
Yeah, as far as like the directing of this, like blocking and cinematography, that all feels very S tier to me.
Yeah, I agree.
There are aspects of the writing that land a little bit more A tier. So I would probably say like A plus ish
Yeah,
for this one.
that feels fair.
Yeah, I mean, like I feel like, yeah, I I don't want to dock things for being funny because I don't. But it is just sort of like there is this but I think it's necessary in this story. This sort of like comedic detachment, like I
Well, I think
said,
that's what makes
to
this
like
movie.
to tackle some of these darker themes in a
Yeah.
way where like you can watch it and be like, this is a fun movie. Because I do think this
It's
movie is fun.
extremely fun. That's the whole thing. That's why it's such a great
Yeah,
work.
it's so dark, but
it's
it is
so dark, but
so fun and
entertaining.
it
yeah.
rides that line by doing this sort of having this technique, I think, in the way that it's presented, where it is like, but I think it's great. I think it's super well done. I love the performances. One of my favorites for sure. And
Yeah,
Yeah.
if I could, I don't know, and this is just me like thinking about it right now. I would have to meditate on this for a long time to really come to like what is the difference between an A and an S in this movie for me. And it might just be that some of that scattered storytelling I was talking about does not lead up to, and maybe in part of that might be how silly so much of it is, but like like the fact I was saying, like that final big tense scene isn't really the like buildup of anything other than this is a moment necessary for his story to complete.
I think that there are ceilings on certain stories.
Yeah.
Certain stories are not going to be able to get an S tier. And as I'm thinking about it though, what I appreciate about it a lot is that it is a story about the adult film industry that doesn't leave you horribly depressed,
Yeah.
which is, I think, maybe intentional, right? There's something of that. And I kind of love that is what it is, right?
Yeah. Well, I think some of the themes we're talking about, like the whole like what clicked for me on this being this kind of dysfunctional outcast group of people that have found family in each other because they have like shut themselves out from like what we call like normal society and culture and family and all that. I think that's extremely powerful. I think that's S tier material.
I think it's a big Pogus thing too,
Yeah.
to find your like people, right? Your
Yeah.
group, your subculture through your interests or what you're good at. And I do love that aspect of this a lot. Again, I think maybe not all stories will, stories have a ceiling, I think. So I think that this is probably as well executed as I can picture it being. Because even the things that I like have qualms with, like I can see their use and like the intentionality behind it. But yeah, I would say A.
Yeah, I could also see I think the movie's good enough. I could see coming back to this like 5-10 years from now and be like, you know what? I think there's enough going on here that I'm now putting together more that I do see this as an S. Like it rides that line well enough.
I think if you factor in production design, editing, every technical aspect, it's like an S minus.
Sure, yeah.
But there's something about it that just kind of leaves it at A for me.
Yeah, I'm with you.
But great movie regardless.
Great movie. Yeah.
Speaking of great movies,
Yeah, next week. This is very exciting for me. This
we're
is
gonna
our
be doing
first.
our first Francis Ford Coppola film
Yeah, and first Connor blind reaction.
and our first Gene Hackman movie.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's great.
Yeah, we're gonna be watching The Conversation.
Yeah, I know nothing about this movie. Literally nothing. So that's super hype for me.
This movie is amazing. It is a sound design masterclass.
Wow. I can't wait. It's going to be really fun.
It's gonna be super fun.
Well, hell yeah. We'll see you next week, everyone.
Yeah, but before you go off, please remember, you've been tuned into Cinema Forecast. That is Cinema Fourcast. Find us on social media. Like, subscribe, leave a 5-star review. I saw somebody left a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, but they did not write a review. So whoever you are, write a review, and you can be featured on the podcast. We'll shout out your name. Yeah, I mean, you want to plug something? Yeah, whatever, I don't care. As long as it's not offensive, I'll say it.
Yeah, we love you. Thanks.
Thank you all so much. Have a lovely week. And I'll see you
In the forecast.